just can't let you know.
As you know, I don't do react videos. I don't do react streams. I told you, I feel it's...
Let's get to work.
Well, if you're wondering what's happened, so am I. The computer that we have running our news from time to time took off and went wild. So what we're going to do is start over from the top.
The Ziggy Piggy is here.
I'm playing a woodwind instrument on Japanese. Trap.
They said, Phil, you know, we contribute to you, but it always seems like it's a black hole. Because it always seems like no matter how much we contribute, you're always still having problems. You're always still in debt, and nothing's getting better. I agree with you.
Well, if you're wondering what's happened, so am I.
My last shot, blind golden arrow. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, oh, oh. Who's that? Why are you an idiot if you don't agree? Because you have factual evidence of something constantly thrown in front of your face and you ignore it and you just believe something else, you're an idiot.
Here it comes, gonna cheap out the window, yeah. Dick lightning, dick lightning. You thought that you could hit him, but he threw a fucking spear. Dick lightning, dick lightning. It's a scream. The chicks will cream for dick lightning. Oh, 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 oh.
What are you talking about? My laugh sounds like ack. So when I laugh, I go, or does that sound like ack? No, it sounds nothing like that at all.
Break the walls down.
A whale. Oh, that's cool.
Here we go. Bullets on.
How dumb they are.
Here we go. Bullets on.
I just want to race. I don't know what you're talking about. I just want to race. I don't know what you're talking about.
Here we go. Bullets on.
I just want to race. I don't know what you're talking about. I just want to race. I don't know what you're talking about. I just want to race. I don't know what you're talking about. I just want to race. I just want to race. I don't know what you're talking about. I just want to race. I just want to race. I just want to race. I don't know what you're talking about. I just want to race. I just want to race. I don't know what you're talking about. I just want to race. I just want to race. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're repelled, and that's it, because you're just gonna waste our time again. Rising toxicity. Why am I toxic? Tiger, tiger, row, 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 tiger, row, row. Alive and well in Israel. Not hear any complaints from me now. My last shot, fly golden arrow. Oh yeah! Look at that! Whoa! 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 He died. It's been pretty slow. Oh, here we go. Now he's talking about WWE champion. He's a piece of shit. You piece of donkey shit. How about this? How about this? WWE champions. Alright? WWE champions lives rent-free in your motherfucking head. I don't think about WWE champions. You do. You probably know way more about the fucking game than I ever will, because you're an idiot. You're an obsessed loser. I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills. I love Hulk Hogan's dick. As you know, I don't do react videos. I don't do react streams. I told you, I feel it's some of the most mind-numbingly easy, driveling, meaningless content you could put out on the internet. It's literally easy mode. I want to make if you want to see someone who wants to put in absolutely no effort but make money today, I don't want any drama in the stream chat. It's time to do a react video. Like, literally, that's my opinion. You can disagree. You can find value in it, and that's okay. That's your take. As a content creator myself, I know there's zero effort in any of that. There's no thought put into it. It's literally, I'm just going to sit here, press play, and make money and do nothing for it. I didn't put any effort, any work, any thought. It was just me reacting to something I'm watching. Wow, I made a paycheck today for absolutely nothing because people are stupid. You know, I don't even I don't even want to disrespect you guys with that kind of content. I feel like that making that kind of content is literally disrespectful to my audience. Because you guys deserve better than that meaningless drivel content. You do. When people say, Phil, why don't you watch E3 live and sit there and react to it with your face like everyone else does, right? Because we want that, because that's what everyone else does. And every year I tell you guys, no, I'm not going to do that. Because here's why. I don't feel there's any meaning or purpose to that content at all. I feel like the best way to go about covering a show like E3 is to watch it, take notes, absorb what happened in the show, formulate an opinion, and then talk about it after. Not, what? Oh! It's the dumbest, lowest common denominator of content creation. To me, someone who constantly puts out that content on the internet is showing you they don't care about you. All they care about is this. They want your view and your money. They don't want to make meaningful content for you. And they know that that's literally a money printing press to put out that kind of shovelware shit. That's what it is. It's shovelware content for the internet. That's why I don't support it at all. At all. But we're going to do it. So we have something fun to do tonight. All right? I'm going to actually explain. I'm actually fixing the leaderboard here. I'm going to explain right now what's going on. Those of you who are joining the stream know what's going on. Because a lot of you may be joining to see something that I'm not doing. All right? So it is actually May 7th, 2022. And tonight I was going to return to Halo Infinite for the first time in many months to check out the Season 2 content that released earlier this week. I was not aware that Xbox Live has been having monstrous amounts of issues. Okay? I had no idea. Apparently it started yesterday, and it's been persisting all through today. Here's what's going on. You own a game digitally on Xbox Live. You bought it. Or you have it under Game Pass. It could be either situation. Okay? You have the game loaded on your Xbox. You go to boot the Xbox. It works. Your Xbox boots. Why wouldn't it boot? But then you go to boot the game, and you get a pop-up error message that says the person who owns this content needs to sign in. But my Xbox is booted. I'm online. I'm signed in. What is going on? Why can't I boot the content? Right? And this is happening ever since I tried to get Halo Infinite working earlier. What I wanted to do was make sure after the first stream that Halo Infinite had all its updates loaded and everything, so we were good to go for tonight. And I can't boot the game. So I'm like, well, that's not good. Is it just that game? And I go to boot Skyrim. Same thing. Skyrim won't boot. I'm like, oh, maybe it's just games that are affected under Game Pass. I went to boot Mirror's Edge. Now, for clarification purposes, I own Mirror's Edge. I bought the game outright years ago digitally to do another playthrough of it. I just never got around to playing it, but I've owned this game digitally for many, many years to do a playthrough. I go to do that, same error. So it's not even an authorization error of like Game Pass. In general, you just can't play digital content on your Xbox right now if you're in an affected territory. Sadly, I'm in an affected territory. And I tried it right after my stream. I tried it during the break. I just tried it 5 minutes ago before I went live on stream.
What do I do?
Now, the problem with this is, think about all the late night content that I do for you guys, right? It's all on Xbox. It's literally all Xbox stuff. We've got Halo Infinite I was going to do. We could have done Skyrim. We could have actually started Mirror's Edge. We could have done another Game Pass game. No, all gone. And I was looking at what I have on PlayStation 5, and I'm like, I really just don't have anything there that I can really play on PlayStation on the fly. Those
Today's
are more
been
like,
incredibly slow.
Games and things that I'm ending or concluding. I couldn't even boot Trek to Yomi. So guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Unless this issue fixes overnight, which I don't think it's going to, we're doing Elden Ring tomorrow.
I don't have money to do it.
We're finishing Elden Ring on Mother's Day. Of all wow, of all things, we're finishing it on Mother's Day. I have to. I have nothing else I can do. I have to play on PS5, and that's what I have available to me. So tomorrow we'll be doing Elden Ring on Mother's Day. We're finishing the game, and it looks like I'm reviewing it. So for those of you who've been waiting to see the end of Elden Ring, you're getting it earlier than anticipated tomorrow and my review. That was not planned. I was going to do it on Monday, but it is what it is. And then we got to hope that this thing's cleared up by, say, like, Sunday night, Monday. If it's not cleared up by Sunday night, well, Sunday night I was going to do Skyrim. Now what do I do, right? And, you know, Monday, I was going to finish Elden Ring. Well, that's out now. Well, what about Trek to Yomi? It's on hiatus until they fix this issue. The fact is it's been almost a day and a half, 2 days, and they haven't fixed it yet, all right? So I wanted to do a little explanation up front here of why tonight I am not doing the gameplay I had promised, nor can I play any gameplay on Xbox right now until Microsoft fixes whatever this issue is. And by the way, no, it's not just me. If you search online, it's known outages. It says it right on the support website. It's an outage right now. It's been going on for a day and a half, almost 2 days. There's thousands upon thousands of people all around the world affected. It's not just, oh, Phil has an issue. It has nothing to do with that. Everyone's affected. Okay? If you're lucky and you can play games on Xbox, good for you.
Shut up this dude
you're lucky.
who's being a
Sucks.
moron.
So, what are we doing tonight? All right? Something completely unplanned, but something that, honestly, I'm actually kind of happy.
Are you going to just
that if we
complain all
have
night?
a
Just
stream
leave
like
then.
that, or a night like this, that I have something kind of up my sleeve that I can do. It's a little different. I guess I should fix this white balance before we get started, huh? This white balance issue. So, what are we doing tonight? Well, there we go. Tonight we are doing a new DSP Reacts. This is going to be only my second DSP Reacts ever. All right? The first one I did over 2 weeks ago, it was Wings of Redemption, his Down the Rabbit Hole video. All right? Now, at that time, I asked you guys what would be other React content that you'd be interested in seeing me do. And a lot of people said, well, why don't you just take other stuff from Frederick Knudson's channel and do some reactions to that? The thing is, with the stuff on Frederick Knudson's channel, there's a big variety of stuff there, some of which is shorter format and others which is very lengthy. Although there are a lot of videos on there that I'd like to maybe react to it in the long term, a lot of them are like in excess of 1 to 2 hours. And doing a impromptu stream like I'm doing tonight, that's only a 2-hour stream. There's no way I can react to a whole 2-hour video. I wouldn't be able to say a word. I have to keep playing it nonstop. You know, take a look at the Wings video. The Wings video, there's 2 hours long, and it took me 5 hours to get through it. So tonight's video is around 40 minutes long, okay? 40 minutes long. And hopefully we can get through it tonight. If not, I guess we could do a continuation stream at some point. Being transparent here, I have not seen a single piece of this video. I do not know anything about it. I actually, this was recommended to me when I was doing the Wings video. Some people were coming up with recommendations, and some people recommended this, and actually, of all people, Frederick Knudson himself recommended this video to me. He said, if you're going to watch something else on my channel outside of your own video or Wings video, check this video out. I was like, okay, I don't know why, but this is what he recommended to me, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to do this exactly the same way that we did the Wings video, okay? I watch. What we're going to do is switch over to this scene. Let me get there. Actually, I'm glad I did this so I could get rid of that. There you go. Switch over to this scene. It's full screen now, and we can actually watch it together. I'm actually going to shrink my camera here a bit. It's too big.
Shell Cut Artist wants me to avoid all coronavirus comments.
We're going to watch it together, and every once in a while I'm going to be pausing in order to react and say something that I feel is appropriate, or, you know, and go from there. All right? That's it. That's the whole stream. We're going to watch the whole video, and I'll react to it. I don't know what don't know what this is. I have no idea what this is. Again, it's just me reacting to something I've never seen before, nor have no prerequisite knowledge of. So it should be interesting, to say the least. Okay? Now, excuse me. I did Derek. Derek says I forgot to put the date in the pre-stream podcast video. I'll have to go back and try to fix that after the fact. Thank you, Derek, for telling me. Now, I have not... tonight, if you contribute in any way, membership, super chat, let's try this again. If you contribute in any way, membership, super chat, super sticker, tip, I am going to give you a shout out, and I will update the leaderboard. That's exactly how I did the Wings video. I will pause appropriately, read your shout out, add it there. I would appreciate support. Earlier today, the stream was very slow. It'd be great if we could kind of make up a little bit for that tonight with something. I know this is impromptu, and some people have already asked me. They said, Phil, why aren't you doing your own video? Why aren't you reacting pretty slow? Down the Rabbit Hole Dark Side Phil? Because we already have a date for that. It's 1 week from today. Next week, during the big 1-year anniversary marathon, the anniversary of my returning to YouTube full time, we're going to do it. I don't want to change that date because people already are anticipating it, so people planned for it. Imagine I was like, oh, just doing it tonight on a whim. That'd be messed up. People are already like, oh, it's next week. We're planning for it and everything. And what if they can't be here tonight? Now they miss it? See what I mean? That wouldn't be very fair. So we're doing that next week. All right. If that's staying, no matter what, that is next Saturday during that special marathon event. It's going down, just so everybody knows. Okay. Okay. So basically, I had to do something on the fly. No Xbox working, nothing to play on PlayStation 5, and quite frankly, I didn't want to re-up my Nintendo Online membership to play a retro game tonight, so I'm like, what can I do? What's readily available to me?
Fuck you from
Here we
software.
go. All the videos on Frederick
Fuck
Nudgeon's
you.
channel, I got the okay to react to from him, so I can react to any of these, all right? So here we go. This will be interesting, okay? So that's the little premise, all right? And I hope that makes sense to all of you, all right? Now, what happened to Halo, right? Well, obviously, we're not playing Halo tonight. If it works tomorrow, we'll do it tomorrow night. And then that means Skyrim, that was supposed to be tomorrow night, will now be bumped to Monday night, okay? Fair enough? But I am officially switching it. I am going to be doing Elden Ring tomorrow. I'd rather set the day stream in stone and say, this is happening tomorrow no matter what, than have it be uncertain and up in the air and no one knows what's going on, okay? Fair enough? All right. Shoutouts. Slayer0804 did a $1.50 tip. He says, sorry to hear Xbox servers are down. You can't play the game you intended to schedule. You were scheduled here. Glad to hear you're doing some React content. The channels I suggested are quite short.
Fair enough.
Kind of case. I will. Now that you said that, I'm definitely going to give him a look. Only because I do need short form content to react to. And if I look at those channels and I like them, I can contact the owner of the channel ahead of time and get the okay. You see? So I will. Now I'm going to have to. I had no clue something like this was going to happen. I mean, usually Xbox is pretty solid, man. You almost never have outages like this. It's shocking that it's been following the game, following the fun gameplay, and chilling and relaxing with me. So, thank you to Slayer for the first tip of the night. And then it looks like I got a super chat from... Now, this shocks me. Devin, you're asking the wrong person. I haven't seen the video yet. I don't know anything about it. Rick Perez did a super chat tonight, our first one. Thank you very much, Rick Perez. Let's get that up on the leaderboard. And Xbox Outage tipped me $1.50. He says, good thing you had Lego Star Wars on PS5. By the way, why did you get Star Wars on PS5 again? Honestly, there was no reason at all.
I need that money. No. I really do.
I didn't have any credit or anything saved up either on PlayStation or Xbox. I just picked on a whim. And what it was, I had been playing some games on PS5 recently. I was used to the controller again. I was like, I'm already playing all the Game Pass stuff on Xbox Series X, so I might as well just do a random game on PS5. So I did. There was no particular reason why I chose it. Okay. Anything else, guys, or can we get started? Because remember, it's a 40-minute video. But if it's anything like how this is going to go down like the Wings video, I'm probably going to be pausing and talking a lot. So it's going to probably take all night. Okay. Reverse 750 says a few days ago they launched the xCloud gaming for Fortnite on the phone, and some people are guessing that it caused server issues. Huh. If Fortnite caused server issues for their whole company, they're pretty fucked, aren't they? I'm glad you're here tonight, Derek. It's good to see many people here. Guts is here. Derek is here. Jade is here tonight. Everyone's here tonight for a nice impromptu stream, and I appreciate that, okay? By the way, I'll say it up front. Guys, since you're here, it's impromptu stream. Please like the stream. This will let more people know I'm doing it. All right? That will help for engagement purposes. Please consider contributing if you can. If you happen to be watching any of this content on demand, please consider liking the content, leaving comments, and even now utilizing super thanks that are live on DSP Gaming to support it. All right? All right. Little intro video done, and we're going to get started. All right. I actually was recording that. I want to do a little intro video so people would know why I'm not playing Xbox tonight. Okay. What's up, Paseo? How you doing? Cat and Jasper are good. Thank you for asking. Now, hold on. Let me make sure my volume level's okay. My volume level's good. All right. Are you guys ready to start? Let's actually start on this screen. I'll do a brief intro. Okay. Oh, actually, I have to fix the leaderboard. I'll do a brief intro, and then we'll get started. You guys ready? That's right. The trigger. Thank you, Darkness. As soon as I press play, I got to put the fucking controller down, not touch it. Because if I hit a shoulder button, it skips the whole video. Jumps to another video. That's just stupid and crazy the way it does that. Oh no, someone's illegally streaming. Oh no. You guys ready? All right, let's start recording. I'll do a brief intro for the YouTube viewer, and then we'll get started. Here we go. Hello, everyone out there.
Blah, 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 blah,
ESP
blah,
here
blah, blah,
for a
blah,
very
blah, blah,
special
blah,
event
blah, blah,
that was
blah, blah,
completely
blah, blah,
unplanned.
blah, blah, blah,
The
blah,
last
blah,
time that
blah,
I did a
blah,
DSP
blah,
Reacts
blah,
a couple
blah.
weeks ago, it was planned ahead of time, plotted out nicely. This is not the case tonight.
Can someone
okay?
please shut up this
Due to
dude
the
who's
overwhelming
being a
positive
moron?
reaction to the last DSP Reacts that I
Stop
did,
this.
I decided to do an impromptu one because I can't do what I wanted to do tonight. There's an Xbox outage, okay? So,
Yes, they said that you're gay.
on the
boy.
fly, I was like, what can I do quickly
And
for a
that
night
we're gonna
stream
make
that's like
love
a
to
2-hour
each other
stream?
tonight.
I was looking around at Frederick Nugent's channel again at some of his shorter videos. And one of the ones that's quite short, it's only about 40 minutes long, is this one called the Final Fantasy House. Now, just so everyone understands, I have no idea what we're about to watch. I have no clue what the content of this video is, all right? But it was recommended to me when I was doing the Wings of Redemption React a couple weeks ago. And actually, Frederick Knudsen himself recommended this to me, saying if you were going to watch more React content from my channel, because once you do stuff you're familiar with, you might want to do this one. I was like, okay. So we'll see. I don't know anything about it. It should be interesting. I'm going to tackle this one exactly the way that I did the last one with Wings of Redemption. We're going to watch it together. I'll be pausing, commenting, and going on the fly like that.
I don't have money to do it. 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 I don't have money to do it.
We have a couple shout outs here. We have another super chat.
Can someone please shut up this
This
dude
one is from
who's
Young
being a
Sinatra,
moron?
asking me to play MLB The Show 22. And I may do that. It is on Game Pass, so if it ever, if Xbox ever works again, I might do it. But right now, I can't play anything on Xbox because it's down, which is why we're doing this on the fly tonight. Okay? All right. And it looks like I have another tip from Slayer. He's saying, yes, the videos he has recommended are pretty short. Okay, I see that. Cool. Thank you, Slayer. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but thank you, Slayer. Thank you for the tip. I'll have to give it a look when I get a chance. All right, guys. Let's do this. I have no idea what's about to happen. You guys ready? All right. Here we go.
Look how dumb they are.
Oh, boy. Down the rabbit hole, huh? Final Fantasy House. What the fuck does that mean? A house with people dressing like Final Fantasy characters or something? Ponage 101 to me $5, and I was talking about incentive to be a member. We're not going to talk about incentive to be a member tonight, Ponage. Let's watch the video, okay? We can talk about that after. We can talk about that another time. Let's not change the subject. Let's watch the video, okay? Not going to debate the rationale of me doing this when I'm literally doing it. Right? Thank you for the tip, though, Ponage. I appreciate that, but we'll debate that after. All right, ready? Let's go. Well, it's Final Fantasy VII.
Of the early internet stories, there are few as infamous as the Final Fantasy House. Though the details are unclear to most who remember it, its reputation is still sometimes invoked on forums in reference to terrible housemates or the eccentric potential from online communities.
I kind of wanted to read that just as a preface here. Now it's, you can't like just tick. You can't. YouTube app is a piece of shit.
Are unclear to most who remember it.
It's what the other guy said, basically. Some chick internet mind-controlled losers from the internet into coming to live in her squalid apartment and made everyone roleplay as Final Fantasy characters 24/7. I think goons dug into it all at some point years ago. Okay. I guess this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. Who played the Moogle? The King of Hate, Jay Hale, to me $8, says, based React stream, Halo sucks anyway. Well, thank you, Jay Hale, for the tip. That is the big, it's not the biggest tip of the night. It's the second biggest tip of the night.
Laugh sounds like ack. So when I laugh,
thank you for that. No, wait, it is the biggest tip of the night. It is the biggest tip. Let me get that up there
Does
quickly.
that sound like ack?
Stop talking about Jay Hale's big tip.
No, it sounds
Instead,
nothing like
get
that
to
at
the
all.
content. I want to know what's going on here. Okay, it's $8. Come on. Why can't I type? Here, I'll press play while we do
Its
this.
reputation is still sometimes invoked on forums in reference to terrible housemates or the eccentric potential from online communities, especially fandoms. What's more, it was one of the main channels through which internet users were introduced to the otherkin phenomenon. So what was the Final Fantasy
I don't even know what that
House?
is. Otherkin. Never even heard of that. Another world, man. All right.
On April 18th, 2005,
Wow,
a live
2005.
journal user under the
What
handle
do I
of
do?
Yankee Crack made a long, scattered post detailing an experience with specific fans of Final Fantasy VII, a popular and influential story-driven game from Japan.
Incredibly overrated. I always say that. It's a fine game, but I like Final Fantasy 2 and 4 way better than, well, 4 and 6. Excuse me. 4 and 6 way better than 7. I think 7 went 3D. Everyone loved it because it was 3D, but it wasn't as good as the previous games.
He introduced it by writing, "These people are dangerous. This is
Whoa.
not a joke. This is my experience with them." He began by explaining his place within the fandom. Quote, "Most people watching the journal now probably don't know this, but back in the day, I ran a pretty popular website devoted to the characters Cloud and the very minor character, Zack, from Final Fantasy VII. It was really the only comprehensive one out there about the two, which was why it got such notice. I was used to receiving fan mail or other people's fan art, which I'd put up on the website." Unquote. At the time of his alleged experience, he explained that he was a college freshman and a heavy drinker. In 2002, he was contacted by a person calling herself Hojo,
So 2002, okay. Very, we're talking a long time ago, 20 years ago. I wonder if it was like a shitty GeoCities. Remember GeoCities websites, the free ones you could get, and you just slap a bunch of shit on there in 5 minutes? I wonder if that's what it was.
referencing the mad scientist villain from the game, and the two began conversing with each other occasionally over AOL Instant Messenger.
Who wants
Hojo
smaller
had her
pain?
own fan site dedicated to
There
her
you go.
namesake, and following the same pattern, she began calling the writer Zack after his site. At the time, he thought nothing of this. Sometime after, he was introduced to Hojo's wife, who went by Genova, or Jen, after an ancient evil and alien creature from the game. The writer describes their first encounter online. Quote, "Then came a good old bombshell. I was asked if I had any memories of past lives. I do believe in past lives. I think it's a pretty valid cycle given how many cultures believe in it. So I told her no, I didn't, but I did believe in it. I should never, ever have said that. It was like inviting the vampire into my house.
What the?
Jen's attack was swift and sure. She began in a flurry explaining things to me, how there are alternate universes. Do you grant me that? Sure, there could be. And in those universes, maybe, just maybe, video games actually happened. I thought it could be plausible, because I like imagining anything's possible.
I would love to visit the universe where there's a plumber running around jumping on giant mushrooms that explode, and they kick turtles that act like sliding projectiles to knock down walls.
Through all of this and all this flurry, she tells me that she thinks in a past life, I was Zack from Final Fantasy VII. Think about it, she said. You're both country grown. You both have that instinct of dragging off friends who could be left behind. You'd take a bullet for someone, right? You say you don't believe in magic or any of that, and he wanted to be a mercenary. For all of his 5 or 6 lines, you have a similar speech pattern. You even live in a basement like he was locked in one, and you hate it.
Wow.
Addle your brain with freshman idiocy and vodka, and this will suddenly make sense. Sure, maybe I'm not him now, I said, but it was possible.
He actually said it was possible. If anyone at any time in my life had said to me, hey, do you think that previously in another life, you were a anthropomorphic blue hedgehog that ran in loop-de-loops and collected golden rings, I'd probably say, close conversation, close conversation, close conversation. Okay. But he's admitting he's a drunken idiot, so I guess that's the preface for this.
Unquote. The writer agreed to meet them in the town of State College, Pennsylvania that winter to stay at their apartment a week before Christmas.
Nice
He was
looking.
met at the bus stop by Hojo, wearing a lab coat, who escorted him back to where they were living.
Wearing a
Quote,
lab coat.
When we arrived at the apartment, Jen, who insisted I call her Genova and would often refer to herself as Jenny Nova, came storming up to Hojo and I, screaming in Hojo's face. I have no idea what it was about. She was wearing a purple skirt pulled up around her breasts. It looked like she had just got out of bed, and I was, to say the very least, intimidated. About 3 seconds later, she whirled around in a quick change. Suddenly, the nicest person ever. Whatever she was mad about was out the window. About this time, I started to realize, though, Jen wasn't role-playing when she talked about her children and other selves. Jen is what the internet calls a soul bonder, or in other words, batshit loony. She believes she has a lot of people living in her head talking,
Give
and
her
when
pill,
she wants to take on
and
a
that's it, because
personality
you're just
that
gonna
best
waste our
fits
time
a
again.
situation for her personal gain, she acts one out. I.e., if she wanted to get sympathy, she would raise the pitch of her voice and pretend to be an innocent child.
Okay, we're 4 minutes in. We're 4 minutes in, and this would be me cutting and running, getting the fuck out. I want nothing to do with these people. I absolutely no more interaction. Completely cut it out. act like you never met them.
I need
Block them on
money.
all
I really do. I
online
need that
communication
money.
forums.
To
Of
pay my
course,
bills.
you can't do that in 2002. I guess block the email address. You know, close your AOL Instant Messenger or whatever. What the fuck? We're 4 minutes in, and already this is like, what the fuck? Red flag. No, no, no. Do not involve. Get away. Right? Like every possible thing that you could see. Okay.
Unquote. Despite these occurrences, the writer's overall experience was positive, and he would frequently return for visits.
Oh, the overall experience was positive, except for the nut jobs that you were with the whole time. Okay.
Each time paying $300 for a bus ticket. With every
Jeez.
visit, he would meet someone
Expensive.
new, many of them soul bonders themselves.
Soul
Jen
bonders.
would frequently ask for money to buy food, and the writer would relent, feeling a sense of obligation. She would also attempt to help the writer and others grow more attached to whatever Final Fantasy character she had assigned to them. This was achieved through various means, including pantomimed magical battles and a past life regression involving laying on the floor and listening to music from the game. In one instance, on a trip to the college, she and Hojo locked the writer in a soundproof room past the point of panic to help him, quote, remember being Zack. Another time, when meeting someone soul-bonded to the character Eris, Jen attempted to coax them into sleeping together. To this end, she announced that she was going to lace their food with aphrodisiacs. But whether she actually did so or not, her demands were not realized.
So why would you be returning to this situation? Right? If obviously the people are nuts. They're nuts. Why would you go back? He said he had several trips and they were always so good. Oh yeah. Like, you're out of your mind. The moment someone's acting like this, you say, no, you need help, and please don't involve me in this, because this is, I mean, it would be funny if it was like, okay, you thought they were joking, but it's obvious these people have issues, and people who are like this, it could be dangerous if you allow them to be entertained. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy stuff. They're going to drug each other now and shit. No, I'm gone. It's almost like it sounds like a cult, the beginning of a cult, right?
As strange as these instances were, however, they were not enough to dissuade the writer when Jen and Hojo proposed that he move in with them. The writer moved into the State College apartment in the summer of 2003.
Blah 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 blah
and he quit drinking as well. But his experience quickly degraded. Quote, I can't even say what came first, chicken or egg, but let's just say that after 1 week, I was getting sick of it. I was the workhorse. I guess because I was Zack, I was therefore the manly man, as opposed to Jen the Cetra Queen or Hojo the frail scientist.
Now wait a minute. Was he paying rent? Because he said he moved in, but was he paying rent? If he's not paying rent, then maybe, earn your keep. You got to do all the work around the house. That could make sense. They didn't clarify if he's actually paying any rent here. He just said he just moved in.
And quit her babysitting job and refused to look for another one. I was the one who had to carry groceries to and from the house, the one who made the money to feed everyone, the one who had to fix or move furniture when it needed to be fixed or moved. My computer could rarely get online because Jen was on almost 24/7. The rest of the time, she would watch me as I typed, so I could never make a journal entry that read something along the lines of, Jen is abusing me, help me God, I'm tired and I want out of here.
Well, that's because you should have just left.
Jen's pattern of surveillance
journal entries.
worsened quickly. She would always be listening in on calls, reading his online interactions, and demanding to know wherever he was going to keep track of him. She would frequently wake him up in the middle of the night for sundry magical errands, depriving him of sleep. She demanded he spend his meager paycheck on $10 steaks for dinner, which made him sick. And when those would only last one night, she and Hojo had him ask for unsold food at the supermarket. Nobody in the apartment would take out the garbage or clean besides the writer, who only washed the dishes. And so...
Is the audio cracking for you guys? Because it is cracking for me in my headphones. And I don't know if you guys are hearing that or not. I don't know if that's actually the YouTube app doing it, my headphones doing it. Are you hearing cracking audio at all? No? It's the headphones then. Perhaps this cord is loose. I'm glad that I asked then. In fact, maybe I'll unplug and replug. Because I am getting a little bit of cracking in his voice and I can't really hear what he's saying. The echo you're hearing is just the headphones, guys. It was exactly the same as the last one I did of these. They're always going to sound like this. There's nothing you can do about it. In a video game, you don't hear it because there's all this noise going on. and just someone speaking,
It's
you'll always
Kevin's
hear echo.
fault.
Okay, so just you gotta get over it. There's nothing I can do about that. Brandon Cole says on his end, audio is fine. Okay, so on your end, okay, cool. All right, let's continue. Hopefully this fixed it.
Oh, the stink festered in the apartment in the hot Pennsylvania summer.
The stink.
Jen only wore a single dress and refused to bathe, opting instead to use scented oil. The writer described the smell in the apartment as rotting flesh and a miasma of filth with Sparkle Sunshine Fairy artificial sugar scent sprayed over it. What's
this is gross, and The thing is, I have a little bit of perspective on this. Being someone who used to play Street Fighter at a competitive level and going into an arcade where guys are packed like fucking sardines and they're just sweating profusely and smelling and there's not enough air conditioning to go around and some of them didn't shower the day before and it smells pretty fucking absolutely disgustingly right. But the good news is I was only there for like the day for the arcade, for the tournament. I wasn't living in that condition. Ugh.
More, Jen and Hojo would beat each other loudly and with increasing frequency behind their bedroom door as the summer continued, each time followed by noisy sex. This pattern of starvation, sleep deprivation, surveillance, and social isolation eroded the writer's will, and he began...
That's like hell! You're basically living in hell, so why is he not gone? Well, seriously, he has got the job, he's making all the money. He's paying for everything. He's doing everything. Why is he there? Why are you in this situation? You can leave. Like, I'm really at a loss at this point. The moment any of this started to happen, you should have been gone, right?
Supporting them blindly. For example, while the writer was staying there, Eris grew tired of Jen, and the two had a falling out. The writer described the aftermath. Quote, apparently, Eris called one evening when Hojo and I were at the used bookstore, stealing books, yes, that poor, and said she wanted some of her things back that she had left at the apartment. Jen exploded. She called Hojo's cell phone in tears, screaming she was going to kill herself. I believed her. Hojo called Sid and demanded he go over. Hojo called Eris.
Wait, who's Sid? How many people are living there? I thought it was only like 3 or 4. There's a Sid involved now? There's way more people than I thought. Why are they all in this situation?
And screamed at her. I told her off too. We rented a taxi with money we didn't have and raced home. Jen, who had been screaming she had slit her wrists, was sitting in the middle of the floor. Sid was draping damp cloths on her wrists. I woke up for a second and knew this was bullshit. I had a problem with self-injury, so I knew very well the site of a deep cut and the site of a light cut. I know well knife wounds. Jen had scratched herself, horizontally on the wrists. Maybe it had been with a safety pin or a butter knife. It was not any kind of suicide attempt. At the most, it would sting. But I was still mad at Eris, because I was supposed to be. I wrote her nasty emails. I joined them in bashing her. I ignored her when she came to pick up her stuff.
Wait, I'm so lost. Now I'm already confused. So there was a housemate who was supposed to be playing the role of Eris from the game. And the housemate somehow had a falling out with the other housemates. So the one who was playing Genova decided to pretend to commit suicide. What? I'm lost.
Though she obviously wanted to still be friends with me. I regret that now, because we never reconciled then. Maybe if I had got a clue and tried to get out with her, things would have turned out different. Unquote. Soon, he was left with no money to leave and no confidence to ask for help. Even when he attempted to talk to his father at a payphone, Jen would go hunting for him. Then, when the filth in the apartment grew unbearable, Jen and Hojo asked their landlord if they could move to a smaller, single-room apartment, further increasing their proximity. The writer was the one to move the boxes. Soon after the move, the supermarket cut the writer's job to 1 hour a week. But even so, Hojo took all of them out to buy new things for the apartment, implying that she had been hiding money away in order to make the writer pay for things. Here, as they did many other times, they fought publicly. However, there was one person from the circle of friends in town who had consistently helped to stabilize the writer's mental state. A person who went by Sid, also a name from Final Fantasy, though the author describes him as having, quote, 1 foot in reality. He wrote, Sid occasionally would come over. When he did, I was glad because it was someone else. But he was and still does have his dickish moments. Jen would make these the be-all, end-all, and Renee would back her up. I began to think he was like that all the time and didn't want to hang out with him when he was gone. Once he came back, they had to restart the process of brainwashing me all over again." Unquote. It was after one of these visits that the writer finally gathered the will to leave. Inspired after someone had stolen his shoes, he left everything behind in the apartment and walked the streets barefoot. By the end, he had spent a total of 2 months living with Jen and Hojo. After being homeless for a few days, Sid helped him gather his things and return to his mother's home in Brooklyn. Besides his own account, the writer spoke of a few others involved with Jen specifically. One account...
So this is weird. So there's another guy named Sid, right? There's another guy named Sid who's involved and knows everyone there. Like, he knows everyone in this situation. And he goes in and he's a dick to everyone. Why they let him in? See, this is like... The reason that this is a weird one is because, like, all you're reading is forum posts. And all I have are questions. Who is Sid? Did he have an actual relationship to any of there in the house? Was it just a friend? Was it a relative? Was it a significant other? What was his relation? When he went in, like you were saying, when he went in, he would break the fake reality they had created in the house, that they were all like Final Fantasy characters. And so he would get some reality back in his head, this Zach, when this guy came in and showed up, right? And then after one of his visits, he basically broke the brainwashing. This is what it is. This is brainwashing. Broke the brainwashing and said, okay, well now I'm going to leave. And so he left with no shoes and walked the streets for 2 days, he said. But how did he run into Sid? Why did Sid help? If Sid was friends with the girls running the house, then why did Sid help him get back to his parents' house? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of unanswered questions here. A lot, right? I don't know. This is very weird. Anyway, we'll continue. I don't know.
It was about someone he referred to as Captain McCool, a sensitive person with whom they sought to fill the vacant spot that the writer had left. When they asked him to move in with them, he was too nervous to turn them down directly, and so he claimed that he had been assaulted to avoid it. When they discovered his lie, they, quote, had him stuck in a chair and forced him to watch while they raped each other. Another person, whom he referred to as would sell her blood to help fund Jen's lifestyle.
Sell her
At
blood?
the time he was writing the LiveJournal post, she was still living with them, but stayed in the attic and was forced to remain as quiet as possible.
At this point, someone's gonna call police, right? Seriously, at some point, there has to be some kind of law enforcement involvement. If people are being forced to do things against their will, like, at least the guy is like, okay, he was involved because he got roped into it. He didn't realize this is what it was going to be. He thought it was going to be a roommate situation. Next thing you know, his life is in shambles within 2 months. Everything's fucked up for him, right? That I understand. You're tied to a chair and forced to see things that are disgusting you don't want to see. You're being forced to sell your blood. Where are the police? Right? Wait a minute. We're 11 minutes in. There's another 30 minutes of this. How could this possibly continue for 30 minutes? It sounds like the house is about to explode any second. Like, they're going to burn it down. This is a squalid, dump. So, all right.
The writer expected some people in the Final Fantasy community to see this, but he couldn't expect the sort of attention it would receive.
Can I start banning these clowns? What clowns? Who's doing what? Because I'm paying attention to the video. What's going on here? Are people being assholes? Are people coming in trolling? I can't. I'm looking up here now. You're going to be banned.
It's been pretty
This is real life or fan
not gonna
fiction.
lie.
Supposedly this is real, but of course this is from
So if you're going to be an asshole,
on the internet.
you're going to be
You have
treated
to
like an
understand.
asshole. You're gonna be shown
Unless
the door.
it'll explain maybe by the end of the video, it'll say, "Oh, this is all corroborated by police report or facts or something." I guess we all have to kind of go on this just being forum post speculation, right? I don't know. All right.
Word spread quickly about the LiveJournal post, and many fans of Final Fantasy, as well as Soul Bonders, commented that they had heard some details about Jen and the group in State College, but hadn't known the extent of their behavior.
So they're
Others who
corroborating
already knew her found these claims unsurprising. Beyond the community, however, this story gained interest on forums, including 4chan, who treated it with disgust and fascination. It was soon adopted into general knowledge as a way to reference poor living conditions and soul bonders, a subsection of a group known as Otherkin. It was here that the infamous story earned its generally recognized name and misnomer, the Final Fantasy VII House, or often just the Final Fantasy House. Though the rest of the internet would sometimes question its veracity, the writer's account seemed generally accepted within the Final Fantasy community. He began to receive testimony from other people affected by the group, many of them people he had met during his time at the apartment. To share their correspondences, he created a website where he cataloged the accounts of those who approached him alongside his own. Due to the limited archival information available, it's difficult to say the rate at which he updated the site with new accounts, but it appears he was receiving them as late as 2006, with each person represented by a pseudonym. Some of these accounts were from people mentioned in the original LiveJournal post, and they helped elucidate the practices of the group and enunciate Jen's and Hojo's behaviors. These accounts suggest an air of amateurish.
How many people were affected by this? I guess this is something that was going on for years when they were all in college. So this was like, I mean, college is supposed to be 4 years. So for 4 years, they were running this house, having people come in and roleplay Final Fantasy people and abusing the shit out of them. Jeez.
Yet charisma to everything Jen did. For example, one account from someone going by Zarla wrote, quote, "There were also tarot card readings and such while we were there. Jen had the same tarot deck I had as a kid, the Tarot of the Cat People, and she told my fortune using the exact same method outlined in the little booklet that came with the cards. I can't remember anything really specific about the readings, except there was always mention of something coming after me or something, thus the coughing. If I remember right, later we were playing with a Ouija board and that something or someone was again trying to contact us."
What?
Unquote. These accounts would also unanimously support the assertions about Jen from the original writer. One of the oddest entries, however, was an open letter prefaced by the LiveJournal writer. Quote, "The following was taken from the Wayback Machine. It is posted without consent of the original author, and I want to make that damn clear. She has nothing to do with it being here, so don't involve her. It is being backed up here due to the fact that it contains some current information that I felt should be edited out, like names or references to other people uninvolved. As far as I know, the original author is now happily farming turkeys in Idaho. Don't hassle her."
Okay.
This was written in 2003. The article...
For those of you who don't know what the Wayback Machine is or was, at one point, there was a way to find anything that basically had been deleted from the internet at all. Like old forum posts, social media stuff. If it was gone, this Wayback Machine would archive it, and you could find it as it's like a data dump website, basically. Interestingly enough, a long time ago, I don't even know if you could still do this now, but a long time ago, I had a website in the early 2000s that was meant to be a parody website of a website that top Street Fighter players on the West Coast of the United States was running. It was called topplayers.com. So I didn't like those guys. I was a dick back in the day. I was a real big troll on the internet. And so I made a website called tophaters.com. And my point was that I was supposed to basically be making fun of them. So I ran that site for like a year and a half. I put all kinds of dumb shit on that site, dumb articles about cosplaying, all kinds of shit that I knew was meant to be like offensive for shock value. And that site was deleted, like no exaggeration, like 15, 20 years ago. And then all of a sudden someone was like, "We found it." I was like, "What?" Like, yeah, I think they used the Wayback Machine and they found the website. You could still find it. How? That website is so old and it was deleted by me. I deleted it a million years ago, and apparently people still could watch it or read it. I'm like, damn, you got to be very, very careful about the shit you put on the internet when people can find it, okay? So what he's saying is this is a post from 2003 that apparently was deleted after the fact, but the Wayback Machine found it, okay? By the way, Jen and Hojo have tipped me $4.20. We already know this is fake because, as you know, they had no money, according to the story. Come live with us, Phil. You can be Vincent Valentine. Oh, no. Absolutely not. Hell no. How? Everyone knows that if I lived in the Final Fantasy VII house, I would be Emerald Weapon. Yeah. Anyway.
Itself is apparently written by another active member of the soul bonding community, though clearly no longer associated with Jen under the pseudonym Candy Wrapper. The introduction to the letter reads, Genova, when I became your apprentice, you told me to shut up and not argue with you. Apparently, a sorceress is supposed to be a creature who blindly accepts the opinions of the authorities, even when she firmly believes that they are wrong. From this, I learned that when Jen says something I disagree with, I need to nod and make agreeing sounds anyway. Otherwise, we would have to fight every 2 minutes, and quite frankly, saying what I thought wasn't worth the hassle.
Wow.
I am not, however, your apprentice anymore, and I am free to say what I think. And I will, because it's a relief to say it, even if you aren't reading this. I do not actually give a crap whether you read it or not.
Wow.
It will hurt your feelings, and you will care that it happened, and I don't. You have been warned.
So this is crazy. They broke down the people staying at the house so badly that they weren't able to basically have even personalities or say anything. They just had to say this, keep their mouths shut, and they were just ultimately in control of everything going on there, every aspect of your life, to the point where this person was so mentally broken down that even if they didn't care if the Jen ever even knew that they wrote it, they had to get it off their chest and post somewhere on the internet what they really thought. Like, that is extreme brainwashing, right? Absolutely it is. Like, damn, that's like, not only did you, that's years of fucking counseling needed to get this fixed. Okay.
The letter is structured as a list, and the first item reveals the name of Jen. You do not look like any Final Fantasy characters.
Oh.
You look like Jennifer Cornett. End of story.
Oh,
she
that's
shared
her
some of her
name.
thoughts on Hojo and her relationship with Jen. If Renee does not go to class and do her homework, it will be difficult for her to pass those classes. Then she is no closer to graduating. Until she graduates, it will be hard for her to get a job that makes more money than she gets now. This is called capitalism, and it's a bitch. No one likes it, but no one has come up with anything that works any better. Renee always
that's
has
debatable.
to call off work or skip class to give you attention. She does this because she loves you. Love makes people do irrational and reckless things. This is one of them. That does not make it a good idea. You are wrecking Renee's life. It is wrong to do so, even if you have her permission. A few
Wow.
other choice lines read, You have no money because you keep spending it on things you want. Anything you want is not automatically a magical item. There may be potential magic in everything, but then there's magic in things you don't bother to look at. Things you can have for free.
So what she's saying is that the brainwashing is so extreme. What Jen says, I want this item because it's a magical item, but everything she always wants is cost something. Buy this, get that has value, monetary value. What she's saying is literally Jen never liked anything that was free. And she's saying she never saw the value of anything in life that wasn't something that had monetary value. She was a very, very possessive, what's the word? A person that only cares about physical things and things you own. I can't even remember the word for it right now, but okay. That makes sense. I get that.
Is a magical item, that doesn't mean you must own it. It would be nice if you could, but you can't always do so. I had money because I rarely bought anything for myself. Whenever I got some money,
Materialistic,
I would
thank you.
save it. I am not a money generator, and neither are my parents. If you want to have money, you need to not spend it.
Or earn it, right? It seems in this equation, everyone that stays at this house is paying for everything for this woman, and she's not earning any money, right?
I now do not have money because I spent it on you. Poof, all gone. You still wanted more, but I didn't have any more to give you. I have been using crystals since I was 10 years old. You are wrong when you start with that you won't use them properly shit, because I have been using crystals since elementary school.
All right, now that's just spiritualistic stuff. Some people believe that if you actually have a crystal, that there are certain crystals that possess some kind of energy or magical power. There's even people who try to pass it as pseudoscience and claim that having crystals on your body or proximity to your body can increase blood flow and stuff like that. I've heard all kinds of shit around crystals over the years, and it sounds like they're definitely in that community of people who believe that kind of stuff. So that's what they're referencing here, I believe.
You taught me no magic. The only thing I actually learned from you was to beware of people like you.
Oh, that's true. Bruzy just says it makes sense for Final Fantasy LARPers to believe in crystals. Of course, crystals are a core element of Final Fantasy lore, that there's elemental crystals that have magical powers, and they can either power the planet or people can use them for certain good or bad purposes. That does absolutely make sense. Thank you, Ruzy, for actually saying that. I forgot it was the Final Fantasy house. I thought it was just a nut house. So I wasn't even thinking in terms of Final Fantasy crystals.
Stop this!
Okay.
But among these accounts, there was one that stood out from the others, and if it's to be believed, it showed just how far the manipulation of Jen's entourage could go.
Oh, God, another story.
In November of 2005, the LiveJournal writer entered email correspondence with a woman who went by Mela. Mela had apparently known and bonded with Jen in a Utah boarding school and rediscovered her online through an open letter. Though the quote in the email isn't quite the same, it's highly likely that the letter Mela discovered was the list written by Candy Wrapper. Hoping to reconnect, Mela asked the author of the letter for Jen's information, and sometime after, she visited Jen's residence for 2 weeks. Here, she claims Jen was able to convince her to spend $2,000 on various objects and food by asking only for small amounts at a time. Sometime afterward, likely in 2005,
Now, wait a minute. Someone just did a super chat. They said, DSP is Aerith from Final Fantasy House. Now, hold on a second here. Can't blow up my spot. All right? Okay, now, obviously it's a joke.
Mela made the decision to begin living with them. Quote, I moved in with $17,000 in my bank account, and soon Jen had drained all of that on necessities, all for the house, many of which went into Jen's room and never came out. Soon I received a check from the investment company for $80,000, and Jen's spending began again in earnest. I tried to get her to stop spending money on frivolous things, but every time I said no or told her she should spend her own money buying things for herself, she threw a fit.
So what? Well, I just don't understand this. I really am struggling to understand this story. Why are people doing what she tells them to do? Right? Why? Oh, so I decided to visit for 2 weeks and move in, and I spent $17,000. Why? What are you talking about? Why did you do that? I don't get it. I really don't understand it. What was there actually like fucking gas in the air? Mind control gas? Why would you move in and immediately start spending money on them? I don't understand it. I could understand if it was like, okay, it's you and a couple people you know. We're going to go get an apartment together, okay? So all of us signed the lease together, 3 tenants. We all agree to, okay, we're going to throw in a certain amount of money for the rent. You're responsible for this. You're responsible for this. You're responsible for this, right? That's how it kind of works. Like I had an apartment. I shared it with 2 roommates. Hold on. I forgot that I could do this. I was sharing an apartment with 2 roommates who were coworkers of mine. We all worked at the same mortgage company, okay? And right up front, we said, if we're going to look for a place, we got to agree it's going to be 3 bedrooms. This is what we want in the place, right? And it's going to be shared rent, and we're going to have all these. You're going to do this responsibility. You're going to do this responsibility. Did all up front. When we moved in, all right, everyone did their part. And there actually was a situation where one of us lost their job. It wasn't me. It was one of the roommates lost their job. And luckily, they had saved up enough money to still pay the rent. They really couldn't pay for anything else, but they stayed to their agreement. They paid the rent. My other roommate was terrified that this guy was basically going to stop paying the rent, and we were all going to get fucked. But he didn't. He kept paying his rent and everything. And even then, after living there for about, it was about a year? It was a 1-year lease. That's right. We did it for a year. I decided I wasn't going to live there anymore because actually I had switched jobs and really couldn't afford it. The guy who had lost his job moved away back home with his parents, and the other roommate went and got an apartment with other people who lived in our apartment complex. We were friendly. So it was kind of like, broke bar, whatever. So you see what I'm saying? Like, that's how this works. What is this situation? Oh, I have a place. Come stay with me. But as soon as you show up, like, you pay money, pay for this, pay for that, pay for this, pay for that. After the first day, aren't you like, wait a minute? I didn't show up to be your ATM. What is going on here? Like, I'm here. We're supposed to have shared responsibility, shared everything. I'm not going to keep giving you money, and you're not going to, what is it? But just look at this. $17,000 spent, which was drained quickly, and now it says there was an investment company check, and she wants, like, what is going on? Why are you spending all this money? I'm lost. Seriously, like, to me, it seems like people have no willpower. They moved in and just do whatever we're told. Like, this is crazy to me that you would do that. Because this is your life. This isn't like you're fucking around. You know, $17,000 is a significant amount of money. $80,000 is life-changing for a lot of people. And you're just pissing it away on someone because they asked you to? You know? I'm very confused at the situation. I don't know if we'll get any elaboration, but to me, this is, like, very confusing. By the way, I got a $2 tip from Derby Day talking about the Kentucky Derby. I have no idea why. I don't care. But thanks for the tip, I guess. I'm not going to read that giant paragraph you typed about the Kentucky Derby. Okay. Alrighty then. Let's continue.
All this time, she was telling me how important I was to her special plan, how the world needed us to stick together so we could conquer evil, etc. I wanted desperately to feel special. I was scared and alone, and I believed her.
My God.
She knew a few magic tricks, was very good at reading people, and could give relatively accurate tarot readings. I fell for her lies, hook, line, and sinker.
Alright, so... Alright, I gotta switch back. Thank you, guys. I accidentally didn't switch back. So now, that actually just answered everything, right? That actually makes sense. So these are people who basically have a situation where, like you said, I wanted to desperately feel special. I was scared and alone. People who already have issues, they don't feel good about themselves, they maybe hate themselves, or, you know, they just have really major problems with lack of self-confidence or whatever. They're moving into a situation where here's someone who's saying, you're special. You're part of something special. We believe that we're actually characters from a video game. And we're doing something special here. We're spiritualists. And look, we have power in our crystal. So yeah, it's a cult. It's 100% this is a cult. Right? That's absolutely what this situation was. And people just kept falling for it over and over. A cult situation. Damn, that sucks. And that's really, really bad. Brandon Cole says, you clearly don't understand what happens in an abusive cases. I was actually made to feel small by my family for years, and I believed it. That's terrible, man. Like, seriously, I feel so bad when I hear stories like this. Obviously, okay, now here's an interesting question. All right? We're only halfway through, by the way, halfway through the video. Do you guys think that this Jen person actually knew it was all bullshit and was doing this to essentially run a small cult and get away with it? Because when you hear these situations about cults, you know, you think about what was the one in Texas? Was it Heaven's Gate or whatever? You always question the people who are running these things. Do they believe their own bullshit, right? Or are they doing it literally to control a group of people and get what they want? Did Jen really think that she was a fucking Final Fantasy character and that she had power crystals and her tarot card readings were spiritual readings into another dimension? You know what I'm saying? Or was she actually just manipulating everyone around her to get fucking free shit constantly? And then when one situation failed, oh, that apartment was full of squalor. Oh, we're moving out. We'll go to another one, start over, right? It was just like an endless cycle of pulling new people in, making them believe bullshit because they basically had insecurities or, you know, things that were going on, basically preying upon their own weakness in a way. And to get what she wants, suck the money out of them, suck everything out of them. You know what I mean? And then discard them after. Or in this case, it's not clear because obviously there's a lot of people who've been involved in this situation. It wasn't just like 3 or 4 people. You're getting all these people now who are going to start posting up and giving their testimonials. How did these people leave? Because it seems like a lot of them, they purposely left because they couldn't take it anymore. But would she have kept them in the group even if they could not pay for stuff anymore? Because it really feels like this is a situation where it's all about the money. You got someone who has a job, someone who's going to make the, you know, basically make the bread for everyone in the house, right? If they were no longer away or to get money, right? Then would they be kicked out? This is interesting. Well, I'm curious to hear the next part of this story, you know. Okay. Anyway, thank you guys for, by the way, thank you guys for the very impromptu stream. I knew we weren't going to get a ton of people tonight because it's impromptu and it's also something that has really nothing to do with me. But we got a good amount of people on the stream tonight. Over 100 likes already. Thank you guys for that. And thank you to those who have supported the stream tonight, even though it was a weird impromptu stream. I appreciate that. If you are watching this on demand on YouTube, remember, if you like this kind of content, give the video a like, leave comments on what you think, and now you can actually support this content with super thanks as well if you would like to. Okay? All right, let's continue.
unquote. After she moved in, it was clear that Hojo's relationship with Jen had deteriorated, and she had been supplanted by a new person named Angel, who Mela claimed was remarkably violent. Jen was now sleeping exclusively with Angel, though sometimes Hojo would sleep with Angel as well. Hojo was forced to stay extremely silent during the day or risk being berated by Jen. This information strongly suggests that Hojo was the one who was selling blood to fund Jen.
Oh my
Their
God.
hygiene was also still abysmal. Quote, "Oh, how Jen smelled."
Oh.
Angel was much worse, though. I don't think that girl ever bathed. They just kept adding perfume,
Oh.
and Jen's purple skirt/dress stinked to high heaven. That was until I made her other clothes to wear. Jen, during this time, was apparently made aware of the LiveJournal writer's website as well. At some point, it appears that they moved somewhere new, and it was here that she claimed she was beaten on multiple occasions.
Beaten?
Once, during a dispute, one of them grabbed onto Mela's hair and started slamming her head into the floor, while Jen and Angel beat her with their fists, then sat on her and attempted to choke her.
Oh my
Finally,
God.
she passed out from the head trauma. Jen would later convince her that she had attacked Jen first, then blacked out.
Right.
Eventually, Mela would tolerate no more, and she kicked them out.
Good.
Much like their apartment.
Which
the
is
house
crazy
was-
because that's right. I forgot that it was her place to begin with. She was the one who had the apartment. Oh my God. That's even a crazier thing. It's your apartment and you're letting these people move in and fuck you up? Wow. You know, next level abuse, man. We're actually going to get pictures? We're actually going to get pictures. All right.
left a mess, which Mela documented with photographs. They also had stolen numerous objects upon their departure, including board games, fabric, and a set of corsets.
There's nothing
though her
furnished
demand
at
for
all.
back payments of rent, quote, in excess of 10K.
Just look at this, right? There's like no real furniture. There's not even sheets on the bed. There's absolutely no attempt to clean or keep order to anything in the house. It's like they just moved in and just sat down on the floor and started doing things, right? Like, what the fuck? This is weird. This is just wild. They lived like this for months, sometimes years, with nothing in it? Why? Here, okay, I want $17,000. Okay, let's buy a couch to sit on. How about a TV? No, they just sat there. It sounds to me like they just sat there on their laptops, right? Just sit there on their fucking laptop all day. Fuck, man.
A is suspicious.
And thank God it's a hardwood floor. Can you imagine if this was carpeting? How stained and disgusting the carpeting probably would have been?
Inexact. While this account is consistent with other reports of the group's behavior, there was no method by which anyone...
Why is there Tide? Why is there Tide if they didn't actually clean anything? They bought Tide, they just left it in the container, and they never washed any clothes.
One could verify the veracity of any of them.
And that's it,
instead
because you're just
using
going to waste our
only the
time
word
again.
of the writers.
Can of Lysol.
Alongside this, the author would finally reveal the faces of Jen and Hojo.
Oh,
In the
boy.
frequently asked questions section, he wrote, "Is this photo Vincent/Jen/Hojo? 90% of the time, no. This was Jen in 1999. She got fatter and dirtier. This was Renee in 2000.
Oh my
She-
God, they're really wearing lab coats. I thought that, okay, they always wear lab coats. Okay. They always wear
looks the
lab
same.
coats.
In response to this attention, Jen and Hojo began to frantically delete most traces of themselves online, and even with their names publicly available, nobody could find them. After this, the attention on these stories began to wane. But only a few years after the accounts were posted, the Final Fantasy house would return in a way that nobody expected and, at first, seemed entirely unrelated.
Really? Okay. We're halfway through.
On July 15th, 2008, a LiveJournal user by the name of Dragon Tiger Claw wrote a post entitled Insane Housemate Part 1 and published it on Housemate Forums, an open, moderated page where people could share their stories of bad roommates. The opening reads, quote, "I used to live in an awesome situation in SoCal until the housemate from hell moved in. Fortunately, she has left, but the bitterness remains on my tongue. It is a saga that can only be told in pieces. Please bear with me. In the cut, you will find part 1 of the saga involving the girl who believed she was a video game character." Unquote.
This is
Soon,
2008,
the author would name
years later.
himself as Pete. The tale was structured in irregularly sized sections, with many of them ending on cliffhangers. He explained that he was living with 5 other people in a 4-story house. He claimed that the rent was a preposterously low $500 a month, and that the landlord, Matt, kept it that way because his chief concern was that he wanted company in the house he had inherited.
Whoa. That's insanely cheap for 2008. I mean, my apartment, my 3-bedroom apartment that I had in mid-2000s, around 2005, I want to say, that was over $1,000 a month. At that time, you know, it wasn't that much more than that. It was probably like maybe, I want to say like $11.50 a month or something like that. But a 4-bedroom house, and it's $500 a month. Well, I guess the question is, how many people were staying there, right? Like, how many, is this just for, there's a lot of questions here. But $500 is very cheap for rent anywhere, especially at this time of 2008. That's years after I had my last apartment. Yeah. So, and it, you know, so here you go. Immediately, why is it attractive? Why is it an attractive venture? Because, you know, it's insanely cheap rent in Southern California, SoCal. Very popular place to live in California, for those who don't know. A lot around there. A lot of popular things to visit, tourism, all kinds of stuff in SoCal. So it kind of makes sense that you'd be a very attractive place to stay, right? Huh. Interesting. Do you think the FaZe house looks similar to those pictures? I don't know. What's the FaZe house? You mean FaZe clan all live in a house and game together? I have no clue. Those are weird stories and situations. I would never want to live in like a gamer house. I've heard stories about these gamer houses, like, oh, we all sit here, we play the same game, we practice with each other and shit. Nothing good could come of it. You always get the horror stories out of them, right? The gamer house. All right. This is actually a good place because we are exactly halfway through. This is actually a really good place to split the video. I split this into 50-minute to hour-long parts to make it more digestible. So it sounds like this will be a 2-parter. And good thing, we're halfway through, and I have about a little over an hour kind of left to stream tonight. We'll definitely get this finished tonight, which is excellent. I'm happy that you know, we're kind of on pace to get through it. But so this is weird because now we're going to part 2 years later. This saga continues. It didn't end. Okay. Alrighty then. So thank you guys for watching part 1. If you're watching this on demand on YouTube, there will be a part 2. Please give it a look. And if you enjoyed this part, again, you know, appreciate any likes, comments, anything else. Thank you. All right. Okay, splitting the video here, everybody. So, thank you all for chilling with me. Again, this is a very impromptu thing that I'm doing. All right, and I appreciate we have about roughly 350 YouTube people here tonight for a completely impromptu stream. It's way more than I usually would get for a late night stream. Likes are really good right now. Thank you. If you like the content, please support it as well. You know, a membership, a super chat, a super sticker, a tip, anything would be appreciated. If you like this style of content, something very different than what I usually do. Not planned. Apologies. I know some people are coming in and saying, "Where's Halo? Where's Halo?" I'm sorry. I wanted to play Halo tonight. The Xbox is not working. I can't even boot a game on my Xbox right now. It gives me an error. So we'll have to see what happens tomorrow. But tomorrow, by the way, just to let everyone know, I am going to be beating Elden Ring tomorrow. It's going to be the end of that playthrough tomorrow. For some odd reason, I just got a tip and there was no pop-up on the stream for it. That's really weird. Nemesis 1, you just tipped me, right? No, we're not stopping. Someone's saying, are we stopping? No, we're just taking a very brief break here between the part 1 and part 2 to do the whole thing. We're going to do the whole thing tonight. Yeah, no pop-up. There's a tip. I'm going to shout it out in a moment. Thank you. But anyway, yeah, apologies. Tomorrow, I'm hoping things will be back to normal. If things work tomorrow on Xbox, we're still beating Elden Ring tomorrow during the daytime. And then I'm going to review Elden Ring on the first stream. And then the night stream tomorrow, I hope can be Halo Infinite. If it works. I hope it does. Okay? If not, then tomorrow night, we're going to figure something out. I don't even know what it'll be. Okay? All right. You guys are welcome. A lot of people are saying thank you for the impromptu reacts. So Nemesis 1 took me $28. Says, we'd love to see you do the Gamer from Mars' documentary on Chris Chan. A lot of people have been referencing this. However, isn't it like a million parts and 40 years long? Like someone has said, it's like endless hours of documentary on this guy. And I don't think I have that much time on my hands. You know what I'm saying? Like, The reason I'm doing this tonight is impromptu because I have like a random stream to do it. I'm not planning on doing ongoing DSP reacts that is going to take like 4 months to do. It's 5 hours long. 5-hour documentary on Chris Chan. I don't know if I can do an hour on Chris Chan from the things I've heard. I don't know, man. I'll keep it in mind. Thank you for the suggestion, Nemesis1. I'll keep it in mind. By the way, we hit our first tips goal tonight, which means it is Gunner Glasses time. So thank you for that. We hit $100 in tips. You guys can pick a silly hat for me to wear for the rest of the stream. So if you want to see me wear a dumb hat for the rest of this react video / stream, please tip me. And thank you. People are actually saying they're enjoying this, even though they thought at first it would be kind of weird and bad. My commentary is actually, decent on it. Well, thank you. I mean, I don't have that much to add, but I'm trying to add as much as I can. I had no idea what this was about. I had no clue this is what we were going to be talking about, so. Okay, so thank you, Nemesis1. You guys ready to resume? Do the second half? Okay, here we go. All right, everyone. So this is part 2 of DSP Reacts to Down the Rabbit Hole of the Final Fantasy House. If you have not seen part 1 yet, watch that first. It would make absolutely no sense for you to start at part 2. Also, I do want to give a shout out to Frederick Knudsen, the person who makes these Down the Rabbit Hole videos, for allowing me to do these React-style videos and streams about his content. This was an impromptu one I had not planned ahead of time. It was just something random, completely off the cuff, had no idea what it was about, and it's pretty freaking weird and bad and wow, to say the least. All right? If you like this content, please support it in any way that you can. If that means liking, leaving comments, super chat, super thanks, tips, whatever. I appreciate all of it. Let's continue into the second half. So, to recap, the original posts about this Final Fantasy House were from around the 2005 time period. 3 years later, these women have tried to delete all of their information off the internet, and no one knows where they are because so many bad accounts started being posted on the internet about bad experiences with these people. They're trying to basically hide their identity and erase any history of them ever existing. So this is a post from 2008, and apparently they have resurfaced. Okay? All right, here we go.
However, his standards for roommates were high. They all had to have stable income and employment and be at least 25 years old.
So what are
the
they
woman
doing there?
Who was
They don't,
chosen
right?
after their screening process was kept anonymous by Dragon Tiger Claw and was given the placeholder name Sarah, who moved in without much trouble.
Oh, so,
she claimed to
okay.
be a 27-year-old computer programmer who already had a job in the area, but when she went back to work after the move, she returned, saying she was laid off. When others offered
lied.
to help her find new work, she consistently delayed accepting it, which made them suspicious. But much more striking was her connection to a particular game. Quote, in the 3 weeks that followed, Sarah was still unemployed. She spent all her time playing video games in the family room. She would play the same game over and over, some crappy-looking RPG from the 90s.
Oops.
It had an unpronounceable name, but Sarah said she was bonded to the game. She also told us...
Wait, it had an unpronounceable name? What game? It wasn't Final Fantasy then. Could it be Suikoden? I played that one. I really liked that one. That's the one that I'm thinking, if it's unpronounceable, it's got to be like a Japanese name, right? Maybe it was Suikoden or Suikoden. I still don't know how to pronounce it to this day, even though I loved it. I wonder if that's what it was.
that she changed her name to be that of one of the game characters. Upon further discussion, she explained that she believed she was the human incarnation of this character and that they shared a soul. Unquote. Pete refused to reveal what character she was claiming to be, however, since it would be identifying information. This game would, in the second update, be revealed to be the Japanese RPG Suikoden.
Oh my god! I hit it right on the head. Wow. So, okay, Suikoden. Suikoden is an RPG turn-based combat. The reason that it's unique is because it has an insane roster of characters that you can recruit. Some of them is so simple. You walk into a town, you say hi to them, and they join you. Others, there's like these really elaborate level quests you have to complete in order to get them. Some of them are incredibly cryptic. You'll do something with them early in the game, and they show up halfway through the game later, and you have to do something else for them to recruit them. Like, I just remember loving the random nature of the game, being able to recruit all these characters. But man, it's difficult to get them all. You need to definitely have like a guide to get them all. You get them all, there's a secret ending. And I did get them all. At the time when I was playing the game, I liked it so much. I used an online guide to get all the characters in the game. And the cool thing is, a lot of them are very similar. Like there's like archetypes, like a warrior, a mage. But if you get the really good ones, they like kick major ass at the end of the game. And there is opportunity to kind of use a lot of them in combat. It's not like, oh, I got 100 characters, but you only get to use 10 of them. No, like you can use those big fights where you have armies and shit fighting each other, and they all can be utilized.
Are you a functional
It's
retard?
really neat.
I have
It's
to
a really
ask.
good game. If you've never checked this
I
franchise
don't
out before,
care.
I strongly recommend you check it out. Although today, admittedly, I'm sure the graphics are monstrously outdated. You know what I mean? Like, it's definitely an older style game. And you really have to like classic JRPGs to really enjoy it, I feel. But it's a really good franchise, and what a chance that I have played this and the sequel. I played 2. I played this and the sequel. Actually, I take that back. I played 3. I played 3 as well, because 3 was PS2, I think. I played all first 3 of the games. I didn't like 3. I thought 1 and 2 were great. 3 was not very good. But yeah, this is like total old school turn-based RPG shit. So I can understand if they're watching this woman just play the game constantly. You're just gonna sit here and play fucking Suikoden, huh? Oh, okay. Shout out to
Someone please
Mike.
shut up this
who's done a
dude who's being a
$50 tip.
moron.
Thank you so much. He says, I'm stranded in a hotel in Pennsylvania. The stream's helping me get through the night. Well, Mike, thank you. What a generous tip that you just gave. And now we've hit the hat goal from the stream. I really appreciate that, Mike. I'm glad that I'm entertaining you and getting you through a boring time. Oops. I cannot type tonight. Anyway, we're going to have a poll now for a silly hat to be worn on stream. Let me get the poll going quickly so we can resume here. Jade is saying his Xbox is up and running. That's good. I will check after we finish for tonight. Thank you, Jade, for letting me know. Which hat is Suikoden best? We'll do cowboy. We'll do fake hair. No, I did fake hair the other day. We'll do Pikachu. We'll do a Viking hat. And we'll do the Punisher beanie. There you go. Bruzy says, add Suikoden to your list of games in the future. We'd love to see you play it. Dude, if I never got to Lost
Alive and
Odyssey,
well in Israel.
if you guys find like Earthbound and shit boring, you're going to think Suikoden is like watching grass grow. It's very slow-paced, turn-based RPG shit. There's a lot of cryptic stuff to try to get all the characters. I don't know if you guys would like that. I loved it, though. Okay, I cannot believe I guessed it right. Let's continue.
Released in 1995. Soon afterwards, a friend of hers came to visit the house. She also believed herself bonded to a Suikoden character, specifically Sasarai, but since Pete could neither spell nor pronounce it, he simply called her something. After spending a week together playing video games, they picketed a barbecue that the rest of the housemates were having. Though they had been given vegetarian options to join, they refused on moral grounds, denouncing them for eating meat. After they were aggressively told off, they were asked for a house meeting, which took place in March, to discuss whether or not Sarah would be allowed to stay. Sarah attempted to explain herself. Quote, Sarah lifted her head and started to talk. She started with, I am sorry, but you have to understand where I am coming from. She also said, lots of people can't understand me because I have such a high intellect it is beyond their grasp. Excuse us for being sane, bitch.
Wow.
Unquote. They eventually learned that she had used friends' help to get past the screening process. She had never had a job in California, was from the East Coast, and used a friend's address to get a California driver's license while another posed as her boss. Matt allowed her
Wow.
to stay until May 1st, since she had already paid for April. Sarah, however, wasn't willing to leave so easily.
Really? She squatted?
By this point, numerous readers had become enraptured, begging for updates to what they had come to call the Sarah saga, and many returned daily in hopes that a new part would be posted by Pete. In response to the pressure from Matt and the rest of the house, Sarah isolated herself in her room, with Sasarai acting as a go-between. She would only leave it in Sasarai's company. However, this didn't last long, as Matt was able to pull a favor from a psychologist friend to get her treatment for free, and he managed to convince Sarah to attend. Soon, she was on medication, and was interacting with the others on a more normal basis.
Oh, that's ingenious. So he knew she had something wrong with her. Get her to a doctor, get her on meds, have her acting fucking normal.
It was during this time that they discovered Sarah's true form of income. Quote, She said, plain as can be, I have people offer me donations on my blog so I can spread the news of my religion.
Wow.
Her religion being that she is actually a male video game character from a game that came out in the 90s. What? So there are some morons out there who are giving money to Sarah so she can pretend to be a video game character and teach others how to do the same? Something said, we give her things because she has helped us find our true selves. So you don't work either, Tim asked. You could tell he was ready to explode.
I love Hulk Hogan's
No, I
dick.
get government benefits in the UK. Why? Because
This is getting... So they closed the Final Fantasy house when news of the Final Fantasy house broke on the internet, but then they created an internet cult instead to keep doing what they were doing, only now they're doing it world fucking wide. Are you shitting me? What the fuck? They brought their cult worldwide. Oh my god. Tiamat has just tipped me $4.20. Says, I think it's so awesome you're trying new things and moving past your prejudices. So much stuff gets dumped in as drama content when it's really just curiosity about weird and interesting people. Again, if you haven't noticed, I'm not trying to do anything that's harmful to anyone. I really do feel like this kind of content in a lot of cases can be very insensitive and can hurt people. And obviously that's not the case in this one. This is a wild internet story. You're not going to see me watching videos that are very mean-spirited to people and stuff like that. I prefer things that's like factual content. All right. Anyway, looks like there's a big battle between Cowboy Hat and Pikachu Hat tonight. I'm going to let it go for about another minute or two. But then I do want to I want to choose a hat here. So I'll let you guys vote for just a little bit more. I seriously can't believe there are this many people on the internet that were that dumb. They were paying them for nothing. Like, what were they paying them for? Back then in 2008, there wasn't even like live streaming or anything. So it wasn't even like they could have been posting live streams. Oh, look, here we're going to do a live seance with tarot cards and you get value out of it and you contribute. This is just they're posting like blogs on the internet about I am Hojo or, you know, I am Genova and you too are a video game character. Send me money. And people did it. Wow. I'm in the wrong business. I gotta do something different. Okay, anyway, let's continue.
Sarah's boyfriend convinced her to abandon her medication, and the results were violent.
Oh, God.
After one of the ruder housemates demanded she start taking the pills again, she began smashing fragile objects, including a window. She would continue to take her pills irregularly, but by this point, interaction between her and the rest of the house fell to a minimum. By the time May 1st came, there was no sign of her moving out, and when Matt attempted to evict her, Sarah called the Department of Fair Employment and Housing, claiming discrimination against her religion and her disabilities. While the state didn't follow through on these threats, they did discover that Matt had never filed the correct paperwork to house tenants, and Matt couldn't evict her until the proper paperwork was filed.
Well, I guess the guy who's only charging $500 for rent in Southern California and is doing so because he just wants to have people in the house so he's not lonely. Yeah, if he's not doing that professionally, likely he's not doing a lot of things at a professional level, including actually being qualified to have people live in his house. Now he's really fucked. Because now she's going to squat for... Once you get someone in a situation like this, right? And she's going to find, I guarantee you, I swear to God, I haven't watched this video. She's going to find every possible fucking way to not leave, right? Squatters, once they start squatting, it's like their butt is super glued to the floor. It's like, you ever see the mutant from X-Men, the Blob? His mutant ability is that his feet stick to the floor and he cannot be moved from where he's standing, okay? They are never going to be able to get her out of this fucking house now. This is it. You're going to try every possible thing, and she's not going to leave. This is not going to end well. I wouldn't be surprised if there's violence in this story coming up because, wow, he never actually filed to have the house be a place to be rented. Hey, the Punisher beanie has won. I'm just going to end the poll now because it's going all over the place. Here we go. Thank you guys for your support tonight. But let us now continue this horror story.
But the strangest event would happen that summer. In
Okay.
July, Sarah gathered 12 members of her soul bonding group at the house to perform a ritual,
Oh,
threatening
great.
Matt that she would file a discrimination suit against him if he wouldn't let them stay.
Oh my
Though
God.
Matt acquiesced, he only allowed them to stay until 10 o'clock that night. One roommate demanded that the soul bonders be ejected, but Matt wanted to gawk at their ritual, and so they stood in the kitchen and ate pizza while watching them.
Wow.
Pete describes the ritual. Quote, Sarah came downstairs, dressed in a white dress. She kept glancing at us. Something stood between her and us so she couldn't see us, I guess,
Something?
and she began talking. She talked about how this was Betty's awakening, and how Betty was now going to finally realize her potential by harnessing the soul of a video game character. I couldn't stand it. I started cracking up. The rest of the housemates started cracking up. This was better than any kind of TV you can imagine. See if you can picture all of these nutjobs kneeling around the altar as the video game played its music.
Oh,
in
they had the
background.
video game on too?
Sarah stood over them, preaching this religion, and the right bishop something would occasionally interject something deep from her position. Sarah was really getting upset, so more of her friends made the human wall. We could still hear all the stupid, even after they turned up the volume on that video game.
Oh my God.
At this point, Matt threatened to call the police since it was nearly 10 o'clock, but when one of the members of Sarah's group threw a punch, the threat was carried out, and the group was forced from the premises.
Wow. What
You want to
on
play the
earth?
fucking game?
After this point, other members of the house would share some of their experiences, but as they did, readers grew more suspicious. Before this, many people had been doubting the veracity of the claims made by Pete, but when the other housemates began to write in a similar fashion to him, it made them even more dubious. These disagreements eventually spiraled into arguments whose full scope was not archived before being deleted, but they were apparently severe enough for the moderator of Housemate Horror to write a post regarding them. Also in this post was a surprising and unexpected piece of information.
I am Cat
Quote,
and I
Tim,
liking my
Pete, and
balls.
Carrie, aka the people posting
It
from
says
the
that.
account
I am
Dragon
Cat
Tiger's
and I
Claw about the
liking my
Sarah
balls.
saga. Maybe as they say they are, different housemates of Sarah, or they may be the one person doing a little creative writing experiment. Basically, I don't give a crap. The posts have been amusing and entertaining, and anyone who doesn't think so is not being forced to read them, so please do not complain.
You know, the further we're going into this, I get the feeling that this Sarah person is not the same person. Maybe there will be a way to tie it together. There's 10 minutes left in the video here. So maybe there will be a way to tie it together that this really was the Jen person from the previous story. But it seems like a different kind of person. Like, the whole time that this Sarah was at the house, she wasn't asking for anyone to pay stuff for her. She had money coming in from an internet cult, right? And that didn't seem to fit the archetype of how she had been previously. Like, it seemed like she always tried to control everyone around her, while these people in the house were not controlled by her at all. Although she did have a cult online. I don't know. It seems like someone who, maybe this is the, what do they call it, the soul something? Maybe they're the same group of people, but this is a different person. I don't think it doesn't sound to me like the same person. It definitely seems to me like it's someone different, but maybe involved in the same cultish shit, but definitely not the same person. But I could be wrong. But we have 10 minutes left. Maybe there's evidence that it really is the same person. I don't know. Okay.
Farther down, the mod continues. It has been brought to my attention that a post was made by someone who was claiming to know Sarah, and that the posts made by DTC were false and harassing blah blah wah blah. This same person, Jay Eckhart, sent me an email before they made that post, requesting IP address information on the poster of the Sarah stories in order to catch the culprit making these false and harassing posts. I declined, as I do not think giving out personal/identifying information such as IP addresses on members of my community without their permission is really a good thing to do you?
No, you get in
Also,
trouble
I have
for it,
no
too.
proof that this person is really representing Sarah or that the posts made about her are false. I have no proof that they are true either, but until I get proof either way, I think the best thing is to not take any drastic actions. They requested I not tell DTC about them contacting me, and I intended not to, simply because it was the most neutral action to take, but then they made that post and made their intentions public. So I feel fine with telling you all, including DTC, about the email now. But meanwhile, elsewhere on the internet, other people were having their own discussion about the Sarah saga, and they would quickly discover much more than they first expected.
Okay. What now?
On August 19, 2008, a member of the Something Awful forums named Jabberwock posted a thread entitled, "If you thought furries were bad," which linked to the 11 parts of the Sarah saga that had been posted so far. The responses seemed mostly to reflect amusement, though quite a number of forum members echoed the doubt displayed in the comments of the posts themselves. One user, however, who went by Jägerhunde, had a different response. Quote, "I haven't read through the journals, I only started the first, but I swear this could be about a girl I knew and even once dated in that really vague, sad high school nerd way. She claimed that she was soul-bonded to the Eris character from Final Fantasy VII, that her girlfriend was soul-bonded to Sephiroth, and she swore at one point with perfect seriousness that she was carrying Sephiroth's spirit child. Apparently, she'd conducted an elaborate fantasy life with these characters in her head and had written pages upon pages of god-awful fanfiction about it. So far as I know, she grew out of it eventually, but when I say eventually, I mean like late 20s. Even when I knew her at 16, this kind of behavior from her made me want to stay far the fuck away." Oh yeah, the girl in question also changed her name to some bullshit nerd fantasy name she made up and absolutely refused to ever be addressed by her birth name. After reading through the rest of the entries, Jägerhunde returned the next day with a new post that took the other readers aback. Pretty sure I've...
Okay, hold on. I'm getting tips here from someone, $4.20 tips, and I don't know what it's supposed to mean. If it's supposed to be impersonating me, it says, ha ha, wow, huh. Wow, ha ha, huh. What they're saying is, I seriously can't believe X did Y. Do you guys think this might happen? Ha ha, wow, huh. What he's saying is that X did Y. Do you guys think the expected thing will happen? Huh. Thanks for the tips. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know if you're trying to make fun of me doing React content or not, but thanks for the tips. There you go. Here's my reaction to your tips. Thank you. Let's continue.
got this all sewn up, goons. Allow me to introduce you to Catherine Rain. By pure chance, Jägerhunde had been in a small writing club in high school with Catherine, and still knew her Flickr account, her DeviantArt account, and her LiveJournal account. They also discovered the Flickr account of someone cosplaying as Sasarai, who had numerous pictures of both herself and Catherine. One of these images credited her as Catherine Silverberg, Silverberg being the surname of a family of characters from Suikoden, known for their tactical prowess in war. Other photographs had Catherine in a white dress, something that Sarah had worn in the Sarah saga. But the most telling piece of evidence Jägerhunde discovered was legal paperwork of her name change. By searching for her name in the county archives, he was able to discover her court schedule for when she legally changed her name. Though the accounts of Pete and his housemates were still doubted, the identity of Sarah seemed almost certain. They also were able to track down the website that this soul-bonding community was using to proselytize curious internet.
Welcome to Harmonices Mundi, an odd little gathering place based on the premise that fantasy web design will get you everywhere. There are a number of people scattered here who call themselves Harmonians. Divided as we are, it can be a lonely seeming existence, though no Harmonian versed in the magic of our world and connected to the runes that guard and guide it is ever truly lonely. So this small niche of the internet has been carved out wherein you can ramble about meeting Harmonian, share your own personal Harmonia canons, and partake of some of my thoughts on the subject.
Users. Another person rediscovered
the happiest place on earth, apparently. And the thing is, this shit exists. This does exist. This kind of weirdo shit. This is how stuff on the internet goes crazy, right? When this kind of nuttiness is allowed to propagate, and then people start to gather around it, right? This is how cults happen, right? Nothing in this that I just read makes any sense, right? None of that. There's not even a sentence there that you read it and you're like, yes. You're like, no, what the fuck? What are you talking about, right? But to those people, they read that and it's like, oh yeah, this is great. This is something I can be a part of. The Harmonians. And I'll feel included finally in my life in a place. I felt like an outcast my whole life everywhere I went. But when I'm with the Harmonians, I feel welcome, right?
Covered the pamphlets that they would hand out at conventions.
Oh, they have pamphlets.
The runes are devoted to preserving the natural order of life. While it can't be denied that their bearers have often experienced great hardship as a result of bearing the runes, we know that this is due to inexperience.
Wait a minute. Those runes, do you see them? Oh, they're right near my camera here. Aren't those from a video game? They look very familiar to me. Let me move this. They look very familiar to me. They're like elemental runes. Like that's fire, wind, like water or ice, probably earth. They look like they're ripped right out of a video game, right? I wonder if they're from Suikoden. I wonder if they are. Huh.
Bearers with no magical training, suddenly and unexpectedly receiving the rune's gifts. With no knowledge of how to live in harmony with these powerful entities, they can't control the vast forces raging in turmoil inside themselves. But if people were taught to listen to and understand the runes, we could have the healthy, positive relationships with them that we were always meant to have. The end of the pamphlet encourages readers to contact Bishop Sasarai. After looking through the information on the Final Fantasy house, Jägerhunde made another assertion.
Thank you, Hiseo, for a super chat. He said, I hope some of these folks got help when they left. I mean, anyone who would actually believe any of this obviously needs help, you know? It's just pure fabrication. But people, you know, I guess there's a saying that people believe what they want to believe. Like, if you're someone who has a bad life or has been abused in your life and you just need someone to talk to feel like they care about you, you will find a way. You know what I mean? You'll believe anything. I will believe any of your bullshit as long as it means there's something that makes my life better, you know? Well, I don't, again, you have to wonder how many people believed it, that it was true. Am I right? It is Suikoden? It's Suikoden runes. They're out of Suikoden. People just looked it up. They're ripped straight out of Suikoden. Okay.
Catherine had also been deeply involved with Jen and Hojo. He believed that she was in fact both Candy Wrapper, the person who had written the list on the website, as well as Eris, the apprentice that Jen
Eris
had lost.
from the original
Catherine
story.
had also been attending the University of Delaware during the events of the Final Fantasy house.
So she was the apprentice. She was the one who wrote the post saying, Jen, I don't care if you ever read this or not, but I need to vent.
Only a 2-hour drive from State College. It appeared that, after these two distanced themselves from one another, Catherine began her own soul-bonding community based on the Suikoden games, gathering followers over the years.
So wait a minute! Holy shit! Get this! There was a fucking house of people, Final Fantasy house, and she said, well, I don't like how they ran that one. I'm gonna run a Suikoden cult. That's it. Starting tonight. We are starting the World Championship. Oh, hold on. World Championship Super Fighter Cult. And this is our supreme leader, Bronca. Not Blanca, because we'll get sued. Bronca. He's very skinny. This is our supreme leader. He's a very skinny deity. See? He was crushed by a truck when he was a child. He became like a pancake. But he is a very generous deity. He has many, many powers to give us. Now, all you have to do is you have to send me all of your money tonight, and Bronca will grace you with many magical powers, okay? Join the World Championship Super Fighter Cult today. This is an ingenious idea that I just came up with. Amazing. Wow. And the fact they are. Some people would believe it. Some people would believe it. Anyway, got another super chat here. Thank you to Zebi Bobebi, who did a super chat. Says the villain of the story is still active today. So you're basically saying that this woman is still running this cult? Because this video is 2008 so far, right? Zebi Bobebi. Thank you, Zebi. It's none of anyone's business. Super chat. All right. All right, we got to continue. We got to keep going. We have 5 minutes left in this video.
The evidence linking the two was circumstantial. The specificity of it left little doubt, and this revived interest in the Final Fantasy house enough that new people were again discovering it.
Okay.
On August 22nd, just 2 days after Jägerhunde had posted about Catherine, he made another post saying, quote, "Took a day off, everyone. I don't really have anything more to add, except to mention to everyone that I've become aware that our protagonist is now aware of this thread.
Found the thread.
Say hi, everyone." Gleefully, the rest of the forum members began to post messages to Catherine, mocking and teasing her, claiming to be soul-bonded to any number of characters or objects. That same day, however, an update was posted to the Final Fantasy House website. Quote, I updated some stuff to make it slightly more legible. Evidently, housemate Horror's Sarah is not Rain Crystal. This comes to me via the writer of the Sarah saga. If you think he's lying or that I'm lying, that is your own business, but that is what he told me. Rain Crystal's behavior, soulbond nuttiness, getting money for it, etc., is similar enough to Sarah that she is harassing the writer to stop posting his lies about her. As such, I still think she's worth warning people about. I am sorry, but based on my experiences and the experiences of others, soul bonders are dangerous freakos.
So, the thread was on Something Awful forums and took off about this Catherine Suikoden cult leader. And then back on the other site that had originally been posting about the Sarah character, said, oh, Sarah has contacted me and said that this is not her. But basically they're saying, listen, it's just crazy shit anyway. It doesn't even matter if they're all the same person. This shit persists on the internet. Be careful. Okay. So, let's see here. An anonymous tipper tipped me $1.50 and says there's actually a current trend among kids these days on TikTok. It's called reality shifting. They believe they can teleport themselves to fictional universes telepathically, and they have detailed instructions to their followers on how to do so. Great. Atlas Telemon tipped me $2. He says, Brunka, take my money. Hi, Phil. How you doing? Hope you're good. Thank you, Atlas. I am doing good. Well, I don't want to say mind blown, because I know all about crazy shit that happens on the internet personally firsthand from the shit that's happened to me and around me. But, you know, to actually hear the details of a specific cult is kind of crazy. All right. We're almost done, by the way. Let's see how it all ends. Maybe there's a big conclusion, or maybe it's just, I don't know, a summary.
The next day, Jägerhunde had a strongly worded reply. Quote, "This is actually a goddamn lie. Greta is a litigious-loving nut, and it sounds to me like housemate Horror Dude is doing damage control. I don't blame the Final Fantasy VII house author, since he's probably taking it simply on faith that our housemate horror author is telling the truth. But he's not, and anyone who's read this far through the thread should see through this pathetic obfuscation pretty easily." Unquote.
Now they're arguing with each
one
other.
Person asking for clarification, Jägerhunde replied, "It would be irresponsible for me to say that Greta and her friends have their collective panties in a wad about the housemate horror thing and have been pressuring the author to recant, so I won't. I'd like to add that it's possible that the housemate horror author is a very elaborate troll, but even if he is, this is clearly someone who knows Greta, if it's her, of course, and while I'm willing to entertain the idea that some of the particulars might be fabricated, the fact that anybody, you know, like maybe Greta, has possibly gotten so defensive about a series of stories, which even use false names, says much about that person." Unquote. Finally, on August 24th, in mid-afternoon, all parts of the story were removed from the housemate horror blog.
Really?
However, working from Google Cache, the members of the forum were able to piece together all of the parts that had been written by Dragon Tiger Claw and archive it on the forum, though it also had been saved on the Wayback Machine. That same day, the original Final Fantasy House author posted an update to his website. Quote, "Well, what do you know? When Something Awful found Catherine Rain, things really heated up. The original writer of the Sarah saga got regular harassment until he took the story down. Considering the mind-numbing level of consistent details between Catherine's data and the data on Sarah, I'm going to agree with the goons. The OP was just doing damage control. It's obviously her. The current theory is, in one last-ditch effort to avoid more court battles with her, he deleted all the posts. Well, Greta, you stepped in it. You took away my train wreck that I was reading to defend your crazy cult. If he was writing fiction or not, you took away the fun. Thanks to Something Awful, we'll have lots of nice photos and links all here about you in just a little while."
See, now here's the thing. This is where I feel things go too far, all right? If you're just doing anonymous posts somewhere, all right, I'm going to put some perspective here on this, okay? You're doing anonymous posts somewhere, all right? There's no real names involved. It's just a silly, stupid story about something that may or may not be true. And then you're trying to have some collaboration. Oh, it really did happen, and here's my experience.
Oh, here we go. Now he's talking about WWE
let's keep everything
champion.
anonymous, and let's not start fucking around.
You
right?
piece of donkey shit. How
But I
about
feel
this?
like when the situation went from
WWE champions.
okay. It's
All
a
right.
funny story I'm telling on the internet too.
WWE
Oh,
champion
by the way,
lives
I found
rent-free in
every
your
piece of
motherfucking
information on
head.
the person.
I
So here's
don't
their
think
real
about
name.
WWE
Here's all the
champions.
photos they ever posted on
You
the internet.
do.
Here's where they
You
live.
probably
Here's
know
their
way more about the
relatives.
fucking
Here's their
game than
fucking
I
phone
ever
number.
will.
Here's all this
You're
shit.
an
That's
idiot.
when it gets
You're
too
an
far,
obsessed
right?
loser.
Because then it jumps from it's just a silly story to laugh at to systematic harassment.
Tiger,
Doxing the person involved is not the right thing to do ever. And it seems like this story, if we're following it along, it started innocent. It was just people making posts on the internet about some weird experiences or whatever, and it turned into completely doxing people. Now they're saying these people are getting harassed behind the scenes. We don't want to even they may not even really be the people involved in the story. Zip your lip. They're getting harassed permanently. A zipper on your lip, doxing and shit. You know what I'm saying? Again, it would be better off. Your content would actually be better off if you would just shut the hell up. Yeah, and so the problem now is, you already just said, so now, oh, well, because you deleted the, because you threatened the guy, he deleted the thread, now we're going to dox all your
So if you're going to be an asshole, you're going to be treated like an asshole, you're going to be shown the door.
I hate that shit. I really do. I don't like that at all. That's, you know, it's a silly story to laugh at. Oh, no, now it's like, now it's taken to the next level. Why? Why do people take that? Why do people on the internet not understand? You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't understand that at one point, it's gone too far, and then there's a level that you stop. Because they don't. And I know that personally from my own personal experience, the harassment I get online. You want to laugh at me, you want to laugh at the fucked up things that I say and do and the mistakes I made on the internet, great. But why does it have to get to the point where now it's personal shit being revealed and trying to pull all kinds of shit, the doxing and all kinds of fucked up stuff? That's going way too far, you know? And so even if you completely disagree with everything that these people did, they're cults, they're sucking money from people, manipulating people. Obviously, it's terrible. You shouldn't do this. But now, throw all the information on the internet. Is there really 100% factual corroboration that this person is the right person? No. It's all speculation.
They said, Phil, you know,
it's
we
good
contribute to
speculation.
you, but it always seems
like
like it's a black hole.
You think,
Because
okay, this is no matter how much we contribute,
you're always still
there's not 100% proven now. What if it's wrong? Right?
I agree with you.
And what if it's wrong? And now next thing you know, the wrong person's involved. The wrong person's getting harassed.
I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
So this is not good. We got 2 minutes left.
I don't have money to do it. I don't have money to do it. I don't have money.
We're not going to get like
I don't
a
have
big
money to do it. I don't have money to do it.
Like,
I
well,
don't have money to do it. I don't have money to do it.
But you wonder what happened with these people, right? Let's see here. An anonymous tipper to me $1.50 says, I feel bad for Mr. Frederick. Imagine if he took hours and hours to dig through the internet to find all of this stuff. With that said, happy early Mother's Day to everyone. Happy early Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Nothing like that at all.
There you go. Of course, if you're watching this on demand on YouTube, you might not even be watching it anyway near Mother's Day. Okay, here we go.
From PayPal.
This last update remains on the website to this day, and a link to the Sarah Saga thread on Something Awful is provided farther down the page. Now, the Final Fantasy House's website and the Sarah Saga remain as a warning about fandoms taken to their extreme, but they also serve as an example of how the online space collapses the distances between people,
Derek.
so that even old friends with no more existing ties can discover or stumble across one another with wildly unpredictable effects.
Is that it? Oh, okay. Wow.
Snort.
So, yeah, what a crazy story. And like I said, really, where this all comes down to is you gotta be so careful about shit that's on the internet too. Once it's out there, it's out there.
And
of course,
in Israel.
Same thing, you know, when I was younger and I used to do shit posting on forums and stuff. Okay. And I didn't ever think, oh man, when I'm 40 years old, is anyone gonna care about me shit posting on shoryuken.com, talking shit to other players? Of course not, right? But things have a way of coming back and keeping up, and you know, I'll tell you, I'm embarrassed with the shit that I did when I was younger on the internet. I've outright admitted it many, many times. I've done many things on the internet. But do you really think that these people, here, right? These people here posting up their experiences with crazy people and running a cult in a house and stuff would ever think that someone like Frederick Knudsen would now make a viral video about it, getting millions and millions of views, and people all around the world would know all about that, right? I mean, this video is just so many different topics. I mean, it's about obsessive behavior about something you like video games. It's about cult mentality, cult-like thinking, and the pitfalls of falling into cult-like behavior and obsession, right? It's about people who have, how can I say, people who've been abused or
Today's been incredibly slow.
Where they're mentally you know, not necessarily unstable, but weakened to the point where they let others control them, and how people can find ways to manipulate those kind of people to get what they want, right? It's a video about archiving the internet and how crazy it is that things that are archived on the internet can be pulled up at any time for any purpose years and years later, right? I mean, holy shit, this video, this documentary, right, is actually like an ultra cautionary tale of a million different things at once. And there's still so many unanswered questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fact that people buy into shit like that, right? It's pretty crazy. You know, the cult-like mentalities of people on the internet and how they find an idea to hyper-focus on. And this, what was it called? Soul streaming. Oh, your soul can be combined with a video game character, and the video game character is real from another dimension, right? And now you are that person. And like whoa. That's it. But we're taking it seriously. No, it's real. And now we're going to believe in crystals and tarot cards, and we're going to pay people. Soul bonding. That's what it's called. Soul bonding. Okay. That just like, holy shit. The internet must be insanely full of this kind of crap, huh? It's probably all over the place. I'm not talking just soul bonding. I mean, this kind of weird thoughts about things and people. And, you know, you get
very
YouTube,
confused.
right? And on YouTube, you got entire hate groups based around people. You know, I'm one of them. And these people who basically kind of like come together, and you got to think, what kind of a person would come together to believe something crazy, or would come together to just collectively shit on someone on the internet, right? That I think that's telling. You know what I'm saying? Like, watching this video, it's like, okay, these were people, they admitted, I was weak in the head, I was a weakened mentality, I needed someone to give me some kind of a feeling of positivity and support in my life. It didn't matter how crazy the situation fucking was. I would let this person abuse me as long as I was feeling like I belonged to something, right? It's crazy. By the way, shout out to Billy Boy, who tipped me $10 and says, do you think it's questionable to make content on people like this if they're genuinely mentally ill? Should they be allowed to get it taken down? Just curious on your thoughts. So what you're saying is, if, let's say, for example, only one person had their name said in this video, this Catherine person, right? Whoops. Only one person, right? Are you saying that Catherine should have the ability to take down content on the internet that's harmful about them? Well, doxing, yeah. Like, you shouldn't be able to be doxed on the internet, right? And thank God, at least if they did dox her, Frederick is smart. He didn't put any of that shit in his video. He's not going to get in trouble.
What do I do?
Right? I mean, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. You're right. Like, if someone already is mentally unstable, if someone already obviously isn't you know, head's not screwed on straight, they're believing stuff like this. Do you really think that having a cult of people on the internet shit on them for toxic reasons is going to help? You know, this kind of harkens back to my Wings of Redemption DSP reacts from a couple weeks ago, where it was like, yeah, he was actively making bad choices in his life. He was actively making mistakes and doing bad things and bad decisions. But the guy had mental issues. He admits it. He has depression. He has these things. When you had a group of people now that are well documenting everything he does wrong and just pile it on, should that be allowed? And is that going to help anything? Or is that just going to exacerbate the situation worse? Right? Interesting that this was... that's something awful right there, right? I wonder, is that really what the whole site is? I've never been on something awful, so I don't know anything about it. But it seems like kind of like the modern day equivalent of that would be like a Kiwi Farms, right? Where all they do is they pile on people very negatively in a way that's just going to exacerbate the situation worse and worse. It's not going to ever help or make them learn. But no, I mean, that's an interesting question. Because, I mean, at some point, you're literally just documenting facts, right? You're just documenting facts and putting them out there. But at one point, can facts be harmful, right? If there's a person out there who already has, they're going through a bad time, the reason that the things happened that were messed up in their life is because they were going through a bad time mentally, and now you're going to document that, promote that, exploit that for personal gain on the internet? Yeah. Devin says, actually, something awful at one point. There was another version of 4chan and Kiwi Farms, and at one point they charged people to actually post on the site, and it basically they were making money off of the internet hate culture. Wow. Crazy. Anyway, so in summary, wow, this one was, I had no idea what it was going to be going into it. I had zero information about what this was going to be, besides people recommended that I check it out. It seems like it's two different stories. The first story is the actual Final Fantasy house during those college days. What was it, like 2004, 2005? And then the second story is that person that had been a part of that house, the Aerith character, went on to start her own cult, her Suikoden cult, and how people bought into the cult online, and she was making money doing it, and basically got exposed all over the internet, right? It's a crazy story to believe that stuff like this is real. It really is. And some people, when this video was starting, some people were actually saying, I don't believe it. I think that this is fabricated. This is completely false. I mean, do we have any concrete evidence besides when they basically doxed this woman? Do we have any concrete evidence that any of it is real? And even then, do we know it's that it's real, or is that just some random woman's fucking Instagram, right? Or whatever it was. I don't think it was Instagram. It was something else that got roped into it, right? But I definitely believe that this kind of thing can happen. You know, not to make it all about me, but I have to add my own personal perspective. There is a cult-like...
Can someone please shut up this dude
out there
who's being a moron?
And over the years, they've always found different reasons to hate me. And again, it's one thing if you don't like me because I made mistakes and things. It's another thing to actually try to pull all kinds of other shit into the equation, right? My personal life outside of my content and my streams and things I do on the internet, trying to find, expose things that have nothing to do with anything related to what I do on the internet, business-wise. And it's just pretty crazy to me that, my personal experience with this cult that follows me around and shits on me constantly, that these things exist on the internet and they're unchecked. They're dangerous, right? They're very dangerous. I mean, take a look. They said that, there's possibly people who have been harassed to the point of suicide because of the shit that happens online with these online cults and things that are allowed to just be like unchecked. You know what I'm saying? Man. But anyway, I don't want to talk about this forever. That was an interesting video. That was completely different from what I thought it was going to be. I didn't know what it was going to be going in. I thought it was
and that's it, because you're just going to waste our time again.
Fantasy characters and act weird. Maybe it was a funny thing on the internet. No, I was not expecting cults, actual cults, and people actually supporting them financially and stuff like that. That's nuts. That's crazy. Wow. But I guess, it can happen, right? It can happen if you have people who are susceptible to that kind of stuff. And if there's no real check for it, there's no one looking out for you. You be careful. You got to be very, very careful about stuff on the internet. You really do. These people who are running the cult. Again, I asked this at the beginning. I'll say it again. The Jen character, the Christine person, do they really genuinely believe that this stuff is real? Or were they actually taking advantage of people who were susceptible, right, for various reasons, to get what they wanted, That Christine person completely lied about everything. Her cult lied about her to say that she had a job, to say that she had references, that she could move into this house, that she had money. She had none of it, right? All right. So anyway, guys, I'm going long-winded. I want to say thank you to everyone who watched my DSP Reacts Down the Rabbit Hole, the Final Fantasy House special. Impromptu, not planned. Didn't have anything prepared for this, but I hope still you found it entertaining. I want to say thank you to everyone who attended it live on stream tonight, and anyone who supported the stream in any way. Thank you. Thank you to those who possibly are watching this on demand on YouTube. Remember, you can support it by liking it, leaving comments, super thanks, etc. And this is a pretty good impromptu thing. As they say, you make lemonade out of lemons. I couldn't do what I wanted to do tonight with games, so I did a quick react. And it's only the second one I've done. All right? I'm sure that there's things people are going to complain about and say it wasn't perfect, but I've done it differently or whatever. I appreciate that feedback. Please give it to me. Leave comments and things. Let me know How could this have gone better? You know what I'm saying? Unlike the last one I did with Wings, I didn't have a frame of reference going into this one. So I tried to give as much insight and perspective as I could. I don't know how much I did, but I hope that you liked it regardless. All right, guys? So no matter how you watched, thank you for watching and thank you for supporting. The next one of these that I do is going to be about me. Alrighty then. All right, guys. Thank you very much. See you next time. Okay. Well, that was interesting, wasn't it, guys? Devin says, I think it was a good audible. The start of the video was kind of slow, but it picks up in the second half. All right. What did you guys think here? Live, what did you guys think? Floppy Pancake says, it was interesting. Actually, where am I? Okay, this is my Ask the King screen. I'll get rid of the video now. There we go. This is going to be, I'm going to do actually the daily wrap after this. Kagome liked it. Someone says, who is it about? It was completely random. The Final Fantasy house, and really, it's the second half of that. It's kind of like the Suikoden cult. I wonder why he didn't kind of say that, because it really was two different stories. See if Xbox Live is back up. I'll check. Exit YouTube. A lot of people left. Well, not really. We had about 400 people. We still have about 400 people, but I'm sure people are going to leave now that I'm done. Let's see. No. Oh, maybe. Oh, I think it's working. Ah! It seems to be working. I'm going to try some other games. So perhaps it fixed itself. It might have fixed itself. We might be back in business. Oh, no, it crashed again. No, it's just saying something went wrong over and over. When Halo Infinite was booting, then I tried to boot Skyrim, and Skyrim is just crashing. I'm trying to boot Mirror's Edge. Mirror's Edge appears to be working, but I own Mirror's Edge. It's not under Game Pass. Malcolm says I should do React every Saturday night. I feel like that would be too often. It seems to be working. Look, so Mirror's Edge is working. It seems like some games are working and some games are not. What about, I'm trying to think what's under Game Pass and what's not. So Trek to Yomi's under Game Pass. Will that boot? Trek to Yomi seems to be working. Why is Skyrim not working? This is actually upsetting now. Because Skyrim, I'm supposed to be playing soon. Trek to Yomi seems to be working now. Okay. So why the hell won't Skyrim work? I don't want quick resume. Hold on. I'm going to start it fresh. Yeah, if my Skyrim save gets corrupted, I'm going to be very fucking upset. Thank you, Slayer, for a tip. I will read that in a moment. Yeah, see, it's saying something went wrong. Something went wrong. But now it's working. What the fuck is going on? This is so bizarre.
What do I do?
No, it's working now. It's giving me an error, but then it works. It seems like everything's working. It's like it's not 100%, but it is working. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of fighting me, but it is. I am able to get the games booted. So, okay. Anyway, so Slayer to me $1.50 says I was interesting but confusing story covered in this video. When you get a chance, the channels I recommended are more visual documentaries with photos and clips. Is either horror documentaries or real life facts. Could be interesting. Yes. Again, I'll have to give it a look. And of course, one thing I have to make sure that I have permission. To do anything with those videos before I do it. But I'll give it a look. Okay. All right, so guys, here's the deal. All right. I was gonna, man, now Trek to Yomi works again. I need those because I was gonna switch. I was gonna switch it.
Pay my bills.
And it was gonna be we finish Elden Ring tomorrow, and I review it tomorrow. And tomorrow night was up in the air, but I was gonna do Halo tomorrow night. as long as it worked, because we couldn't do it tonight. And then Monday was going to be Trek to Yomi and Skyrim. But now Trek to Yomi works again. And originally, right? Originally, I was going to do that tomorrow. So now I don't know what to do. Ugh. See, I could finish off Elden Ring for good, but I kind of told people for a while that I was going to do Elden Ring Monday. They might not be able to come tomorrow. You see? Have a good night, Kagome. Guts liked the stream. I'm glad to hear that, Guts. Thank you. I'm glad you guys liked it. It was impromptu. It was not planned. It was something random. I'm glad that it came together because I couldn't play Xbox tonight.
What do I do?
Damn, I gotta decide what I want to do. I really gotta think hard about this. Do I want to do Elden Ring or do I want to do Trek to Yomi? I mean, I already said I was doing Trek to Yomi, so I almost feel like I should do Trek to Yomi.
Please shut up this dude who's being a moron.
Right? But now I can't decide.
You want to play the fucking game?
I gotta think about it. It says, I hope you can do Elden Ring on Monday so I can join the stream. Alright. I think we're going to stick to the schedule. So tomorrow, we're going to finish Trek to Yomi. Alright? It'll be the major stream tomorrow, Trek to Yomi. It seems to be working again. I hope it fucking works. And tomorrow night, we'll try Halo. Hopefully it works. And then Monday, it'll be Elden Ring and Skyrim. And that'll be the rest of the streaming week. Now, if for some reason Xbox isn't working again tomorrow, then we'll pull the audible and we'll swap and we'll finish Elden Ring on the first stream. And I have no clue what we'll do on the late stream. We'll have to figure it out. Okay? There you go. That's what we'll do. I know through the schedule, but there's nothing I could do about it. In reality, Monday night was up in the air anyway. I didn't know what I was playing Monday night. And this kind of clarifies. Now the night streams got bumped by a day because I couldn't do the regularly scheduled stuff tonight. So, Derp General, I'm uploading the videos right away. Don't worry. I'm uploading the videos as soon as I get offline here. They're getting up on DSP Gaming On Demand, and you can watch them. Okay? All right. Any last things anyone would like to talk about before we adjourn for the night? So tomorrow, Trek to Yomi and Halo Infinite, if it works. Monday, the conclusion to Elden Ring and the review and Skyrim. But if Xbox doesn't work tomorrow, then Elden Ring will be tomorrow. So let's see what happens. Hopefully it works. Okay? Sound good? Malcolm really wants me to do weekly React content. Now, I'm already doing one next weekend. It's mine. It's Down the Rabbit Hole Dark Side Phil. I'm doing that next Saturday during the marathon. So that is happening. After that, though, I don't really want to do one once a week. That's too much, I feel. I really feel that's too much. Am I encouraged to do more reaction videos? Here's the thing. Like, I actually feel tonight's stream did good. But I feel tonight's stream would have done even better if I'd given advance notice. But no one knew this was happening, so a lot of people just planned on it being Halo, and they were either going to be here for Halo or not. And then a lot of people probably are going to find out, oh shit, Phil did this. I think honestly the real telling thing might be YouTube. Once I upload it on demand and see if people like it there, because on YouTube it doesn't matter when I streamed it. It's, will people watch it on YouTube? If people like it and watch it there, right? I don't know. We'll see, I guess. We'll see. I mean, yeah, I think it went well tonight, for sure. We started slow with a lower viewer count, and over the stream, it just went up and up and up, and then contributions came in. People liked it, so. The Black Knight 6447 is in a super chat saying, Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Happy early Mother's Day. It's not Mother's Day here yet, but it will be soon. I agree that I will be sure to talk about it on stream tomorrow. Thank you, Black Knight, for the super chat. Okay. Malcolm says the people want to talk to you more. They like to hear what you have to say. Okay. Devin says, yes, I agree. More noticeable, more notable topic, it would be even better. Right. This was completely random. I didn't even know what I was going to do. You know, it was just on a whim. I picked a video. Really, you want to know why I picked it? Was the length. The earlier stuff that Frederick Knudsen did was anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes long. And I felt picking a shorter video, I'd be able to do it on the night stream in its entirety. So that way,
what do I do?
And I felt 2 hours would probably be good enough for like 30, 40 minutes, and it worked perfectly, right? Jim the Frogus, I wonder if your other channels have super thanks eligible. Likely they do. But I would have to go in there and manually enable it. And the thing is, how many people are watching the legacy content on those channels? Very few. If I'm since I've enabled super thanks on DSP Gaming, at first there was an influx of people wanted to try it. It's like 2 days I got a bunch, and since then it's like nothing. I haven't had a super thanks in like many days. So if on my archive channel of over 60,000 videos, I'm getting 0 a day, then obviously on the other channels I would also probably get 0. So it's probably not really a big deal to enable them over there. No, I did not give Kat a gift for Mother's Day. She's not a mother. We have a pet, but you know, a human mother. Gabby Roxas like this. I swear you should look into reacting more. You have interesting takes. Hydro90 just hit me $10. Thank you, Hydro90. Appreciate that. Last minute here. You know, I'm basically about to sign off. I really appreciate the last minute support. Thank you, guys. Excuse me. That's right, Jade. I'll see you Monday. Have fun and hope you get lucky at the casino tomorrow. I wish you luck. Oh. Call my mama on Mother's Day. I might. I told her like 2 days ago and had a long conversation, but maybe I'll just call her to say Happy Mother's Day and hang up. Now, Jim, here's what I think, because he's asking about super thanks. Here's what I think is going to happen, all right? When I start big, notable playthroughs that are very hype playthroughs, AAA games people want to see, you know what I'm saying? Or when I do big projects, special things that are hyped up, right? Like maybe a Down the Rabbit Hole that's hyped, or you know, just a DSP Reacts in general that's hyped to a topic people really want to see. Maybe then you would get super thanks on a video, but I don't think it's going to be a big deal day to day. I just don't. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. It's for people who are like super fans of my stuff. They want to support, and they just don't come to the streams. The truth is, a lot of the super fans come to the streams and support that way, right? Just text her. You would not believe this, but my mom does not use an active cell phone that I could text her on. She has a cell phone for emergency purposes only. It's always off. And if I texted her, it will go to a black hole. She'd never see it. Yep. Yes, my grandparents are gone, Sandy. They're not a part of my life. They passed away a long time ago. On my mom's side, they both passed away when I was very young. On my dad's side, basically, we never had any real contact with them. They just, I don't know what happened. If my dad had a falling out with them or whatever, but they were never a part of our lives. So, can I grab Jasper for a minute? Only if he's nearby. I don't think he is. I don't hear a jingle. I would hear the jingle of his chain if he was nearby. Nope. He's not nearby. He's probably downstairs. No, Devin, I never heard of that group. Do I miss my old BMW? No. I wasn't particularly in love with the car. What I like most about the BMW, it was comfortable to sit in, and it had really good brakes, but that was about it. Like, it had all these features I never used. A fucking moonroof? Who the fuck uses a moonroof, right? It literally had shit I didn't need. And it's funny, because the one thing I thought I was going to miss about having a BMW was it has a built-in in the dashboard a GPS. I just use my phone now. Your phone has free GPS. You just plug it in. You have a little mount for it. You put it right there on your dashboard. It's just as good as what I had in the BMW. So, yeah. No, I don't miss it at all. Really. My car's just as good. Okay. Okay, guys. I think we'll call it quits for tonight. Thank you for chilling with me. I appreciate that. Thanks for paying attention to the impromptu stream tonight. I know it was a weird one for sure, right? It definitely was not my normal style of content, but I appreciate you watching it and, you know, being kind of out of nowhere. And thanks for being a great audience. Thanks for your support. Tomorrow it will be Trek to Yomi concluding and Halo Infinite on the late stream as long as Xbox is working. Okay? Guys, thank you. Please have a good night, and I hopefully will see you all tomorrow, all right? Have a good night. Peace out. See you in the morning, everyone. Later.
That the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but they see where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And to quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business is humongous, you would think that happens in there. Damn man, I'm all that, yeah, I'm all that. Looking for that whip, yeah, that what you call that. I'ma blow up in the summer, have them yelling fall back. And I've always been ahead like an effing ball cap. Man, I came in the game like, whoa. Got a couple chains on me cause I like gold. They told me I'm the best and I told them I know. Cause when I'm in your town, every ticket I sold. Yeah, they saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Lot of haters, tell me where they at though. I'm the new pop, all I do is rap though. Want me on your song, throw a couple stacks, yo. Woo! Everybody wanna do the same thing. Yup, that's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing, and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah, I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah. I'm going mainstream. Damn. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Woo. I'm going mainstream.
Never modern talk coming back with a smack. Beat marathon, I'm a killer on the track. Never modern talk coming back with a smack. Blasting fools never lost his back. Thirsting for blood, even more just like that. I'm a killer on the track. Never modern talk coming back with a smack. Marathon, I'm a killer on the track. Never modern talk coming back with a smack. Blasting fools never lost his back. Thirsting for blood, even more just like that. Just like that, 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 just like that. I'm a killer on the track, 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 on the track. Never modern talk coming back with a smack.